Hey, welcome. Hey, man, what's up, man? We sorry about those technical difficulties we had, but we done worked it all out. Listen, man, shout out to Evolutionary Media. I'm your boy, Coach Ferg. I'm here with my guys today, man. Listen, man, we got to come in hot today, get right into it. I'm glad everybody joined us. Please leave a comment, salute the Wife School podcast. Listen, man, I'm gonna start out real quick, man. I got a feeling of anxiousness going on. That's the only letter I'm gonna use today. Just real anxious, right? Because I got some things going on physically and within my home. It's big. It's both of them are big and they sort of happening at the same time. So I'm just anxious right now. So salute to y'all, man. Just D, you want to go ahead?
Go ahead, Jim. We're waiting on you. What's going on,
Okay,
people?
let's get it together, brothers.
It's just the well, we starting off with pies again.
Well, you can just how you want to do it, or you can just use a letter. How you feel right now?
I'm
Where you
feeling
at
good,
mentally,
man.
emotionally?
Feeling great. About to get ready to enjoy another football season. Uh, Besides my Dallas Cowboys, my son's playing freshman ball, so about to enjoy that. Um, Otherwise, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Oh, okay. Now, see, fellas, listen real quick. Good is not a word that can be explained. So we're gonna use next time. Always remember, good is not viable word in this man arena. It is what it is. What's up, Carl?
But in the barber shop, we just say, "Yo, you good? Yeah, I'm good." No.
Yeah, but see, we go. That's why we stepping up above that. See, this is a level up with that. Yeah.
Physically, I'm all right in the sense that no health issues and I can still kick ass. But it's just draining mentally because of all the preparation for my cruise. Intellectually, I'm still learning every day. Especially when it comes to Bible study. I'm doing a lot of that, to teach other people. Emotionally, boy, there's not enough drugs in the world, but I'm trying to hang in there and I'm gonna push through it. Spiritually, always grounded and doing the best I can.
Salute, man.
Mhm.
Where you at? Oh, okay. What's
Brother
up, brother?
Lee,
What's going on, fellas? My bad for a little late, man. That
come
that
on,
that
get some
big
ice cream. Get some ice cream. Let's do it.
that big beautiful bill got me working late, man. But yeah, Pies. Listen, physically, like you said, I'm all over the place now with that. Physically hurting a little bit. Intellectually, same concept. Moving right now, I'm trying to wrap my head around this bill. Emotionally, I'm worried about what's going to happen from it, and spiritually praying for the better come out from it. And that's all I can say, fellas.
All right, cool. Cool, man. Listen, man, we gotta get right into it, man. We had a little conversation in the back chat, right? And Carl, he's good with the questions, man. I like his questions, right? So he poses a question to the men. Carl, are the women can answer the question too? I think
The,
both
the women,
parties.
the women can answer, but it's going to be a little bit complex. But if they
Okay,
can, they can. Let's see what
okay.
comes from it.
So,
All right.
so you want to ask the first part of the question about the depths of, what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Well,
Well, I'm gonna start off with the first light question. Okay, it's going to segue into a second question, fellas. So be a little prepared. So there was a video I put up about the baby mama and the light bill, right? Where she calls up baby daddy and says, "Listen, man, my lights is out. I need $430. I need your help." And he's like, "All right." So he hangs up from her, calls the electric company. They say, "Yeah, outstanding balance is $96." He said, "No problem." So he pays it. Then he calls her back and says, "Yeah, don't worry about it. The bill is paid." She starts cursing him out. So the question is, guys, are you that dude that when the woman calls you and said the kids need Pampers, are you bringing the Pampers and keeping the receipt? Or are you giving her the money to go buy the Pampers? Come on, D.
Oh, me?
You end up.
I'm bring,
Come on,
I'm
which one
bringing
you
the
doing?
Pampers and keeping the receipt, bro. I've been in that light bill situation before. Laugh my ass off when you said that. Wait, what is
Oh,
ready? Well, he come stay with me.
yeah. You don't got no food? Well, bring him over here. I'll
You
feed
know
him.
what? I
Look,
cook in the middle. I got it.
come on, Lee. What's
They
your
hate when we do the solution quick as hell. They hate when we got the solution.
less
Mm,
stress? That's the name of the game. Less stress.
mm.
Come on, Lee. What you
What
got?
what's is there somebody living in our house? I gotta ask that, or
Hey,
we not?
deal with the
Let
fact.
Okay,
Your baby
let
mama calls you and said, "Listen, my electric bill. The kids are here. $430.
hmm
What you doing, bro?"
The first time I'm paying it, my child is there.
Mm.
My
Okay.
child is
Who?
there. My
So
child is
what are
there.
you doing? Are you calling the electric company to verify and pay the bill,
Yeah,
or are
I'm
you just
giving
going
yeah.
to
her
give it a four hundred thirty
No, no,
dollars?
I'm calling the company. I pay it that way.
Okay. So
okay.
when she says she needs Pampers for the kid, are you bringing the Pampers and holding on to the receipt, or are you giving her the money?
She gets if that's the case, she already should be having Pampers. She gets child support for the Pampers, and the Pampers I buy will be.
Ooh, ooh, I love this. Oh, okay. Cool. So now here comes the tougher question, guys. We all hear about men saying they love their children. You are on a cruise. Somehow, some way, your child just fell overboard in the middle of the ocean.
Hold up,
What's your first?
hold up, Carl.
Oh
Hold up.
shit!
We gotta address this comment from from Richard
Oh
Reed,
shit!
right? So Richard Reed said, "Give her half of the money, Carl."
What?
No, see, I'm
No,
not doing that. I'm not doing
no,
that.
no.
I'm not
But
doing that.
My question.
hold up.
Hold on. I want to know. Does Richard Reed have kids?
He ain't got a kid or a
No,
woman,
no,
so he just
no.
talking.
Oh
Oh,
Lord, Lord, God help him. You gonna give her
Richard's a
half the
poo
money,
boy, man.
just gonna give him half the money? You
half the
crazy as
four
hell.
hundred and thirty dollars, even though the electric bill is 96 confirmed.
$60.
Okay, all right,
Nope.
brother, you'll
Give
learn.
her.
That's to set up failure on your
See,
end.
you know he couldn't relate to it because he's saying give her okay. Let's just say you give her half the money. She still don't pay the bill. Next thing you know, she's telling everybody how you let her get kicked out of her apartment when she didn't
Mm-hmm.
pay the bill. Any
Mm-hmm.
man, Richard, will pay the bill. Will go get the documentation. If a man is paying his own light bill, he know the light bill is what it is. So he gonna call the light company and say, "Hey, what's the bill for such and such?" Her account number is ABCDEFG. Sir, that bill is
Boy,
$115. Oh, is that what it is, man? All right,
oh
I'll call you
man,
back.
I'll call you back. Yep.
Shit, what are
oh
you talking about,
man,
Richard?
Because
oh
there's no
man.
way in blue heaven that you gonna sit up there and get got like that. I'm sorry. I'm not that type of person. I need to see proof that it's a $430 bill. Then my
You
question
gonna you
then my question to you is why is it a $430 bill?
you gonna wind up buying dinner for her and her man going down that road. I'm just saying.
Exactly. And
But
now the situation is she got homeboy living with her or got the homeboy taking care of her and he ain't can't help you, then nah. I don't care if my kid is there or not. You know.
I'm gonna save this question because I got a feeling two people's gonna come up, maybe one, and I'm dying to hear their answer because it's so funny. But okay, let me get to the second part of that question though. So you love your child, y'all on a cruise. Somehow, some way, accidentally, that child fell overboard. What is your next move? Are you jumping in, or are you waiting for the boat people, to go in there and get that child? What's going on, fellas? Come on, D. Come on, D. It doesn't matter, son or daughter. They tipped over. They in the ocean. Are you waiting for the boat people, or you jumping in there instantly?
First of all,
Come on, don't change. Don't change. That's
mm,
the facts.
mm, been on too many cruises.
Ooh,
Ain't no way you fall off that top deck.
no. Your baby's ooh,
This
wee.
nigga, I
That's,
do. Come on, D.
that's
Been on too
interesting.
many cruises. Ain't no way you fall
Come
off any
on.
of the decks. I don't know
The
how the
child,
hell.
the child is in the water. Your next move is jump in the water or contact the boat people and let them figure out how they're gonna go rescue your child.
Bro,
What's going on?
you on a cruise. If anybody see the child fall off, the whole boat gonna know.
No, but you hold
I
up.
said
You there. Come
you.
on, you making
Your
excuses
next
there.
move.
You right
Your
there.
next
I don't
move. Let's
know.
go.
No, no.
Come on.
Ain't because I can't swim, because I can swim. It's just the whole fact of,
Ooh.
first of all,
We don't have time for questions and
my brain,
thinking.
no, I'm thinking like a parent. Why my eyes are not off my child?
Do you know
First,
Right, right,
15
right,
minutes? Listen, in
right, right.
15
nah,
minutes,
nah.
listen,
First of all,
listen.
No,
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 D, D,
no,
D,
don't
no.
say it. Don't
Listen,
say it.
listen.
Don't
He's
say
right.
it.
He's right, Carl. He's right. He's right.
no, he's
Listen.
Don't say
not.
it.
He,
Listen, listen.
I'm
Let me
saying it
finish
from as a
this.
parent, bro.
D,
No, don't say
there's
it.
eight to
but that
15.
still don't
Listen,
excuse the incident.
there's 8 to 15 minutes before that child gets hypothermia. We don't have time to think. We
Bruh,
don't have time to plan. Come on,
What
dog.
are you
all
doing?
right, I'm going to put it just like this. I'm a black parent. Why is my eyes off my child?
No,
See, you
but
asking
still
the
don't
wrong question.
excuse the situation. Hold up. It
Exactly.
still don't excuse the
I
situation. No,
I
that
gotta plead the fifth on this one, bro. Go
okay,
somebody else.
but
I can't because
Oh Lord.
first of all, I've gone to cruise with one of my daughters,
yeah.
and me and her mother thought we lost her for a minute. I've been down that
You
situation.
know what?
Oh,
It's
okay,
like,
okay. Hold
it's
on.
like, yo,
That's
hold up.
that's a trigger. That's a
It's a
trigger.
trigger.
All
Okay.
right.
So
It's a trigger.
you don't even trying to
Mm.
you ain't even trying to see that picture.
Luckily,
Okay.
my baby was 5 years old. She was smart as hell, and she was coming to me, and her mother didn't know where she was at. But luckily, she knew where I was at, so she was coming right directly to me, and
But
really like bully 16 people in line to get to me. So she was like, "No, Daddy, I'm right here. I'm coming upstairs," and she just, excuse me. So, and
that's real daddy shit right there.
her mother's on
Respect.
the other deck, like, "Oh my God, I don't know where she's at," and I'm like, "She right here." So I'm
But
like,
salute to
Uh,
y'all, man. Salute to
I
y'all.
got,
all
But
right.
but but
All
okay,
right.
so
All
D,
right. All right.
that
All
still
right. All right.
doesn't excuse so D, based off the historics,
D is
what you
pleading the
always
fifth. He's
no,
not
but
answering the
based
question.
hold up, but based off his response, I believe he would go. Based
yeah,
off his response,
I
I
would
believe he
go,
would go.
but then my whole thing is between me and the mother of my children. Why is your eyes not on our children?
From
On
hold
my
You're
up, from
asking the wrong
yeah.
question. Wrong
No,
question.
no, no, no. But
No, don't
he's the
try to
wrong
give him a
person.
life jacket, coach. The
No.
question is, it
Yeah.
happened. Don't ask why or how. It happened. What
I
is
gotta
your
ask why and
response?
how.
No, you can't ask why. It
I gotta
happened.
ask
Seven.
No,
why
you
because
can't
Listen,
ask
my
why.
thing is why is
listen.
my daughter in the fucking ocean
You got
in
But
7 minutes to
you
save her
almost had that
life.
situation, so you
Why are
can't
you
ask why.
sitting there asking the wrong questions? You got 7 minutes.
I'm
Yeah.
already in the. If you want to be honest, on the other side, I'm already in the water as she's falling.
There you go. Okay, so
So
that's
I'm
what I'm
like,
talking about. Don't ask
Okay.
questions. You know,
Right.
7 minutes is
as she is
hypothermia.
falling, I'm already right behind her.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
So
Yeah.
Lee, what we
There
doing,
you go.
dog?
I'm probably Navy, brother. I'm sorry, search and rescue corps, but I'm jumping in. I'm
yeah,
You
already
in, ain't you?
see,
Yeah. I'm in
see,
there. I
see,
wouldn't
here's
even
the
in.
think.
thing.
I'm not.
Second
There's no questions
question.
asked about that.
See, hold on. See, here's the thing. I'm Army, he Navy. So him is like, all right, what's next? Me is like,
Right.
hold up. Why the hell did that happen?
But
Why is it going down like this? All right, now I'm going in.
yeah.
So
But but to the point though, that's the unique thing about it, right? Because you're just you thinking like, man, this is not even a second guess. Like I'm in the safety, and you had an experience where it wasn't always like that.
mhm.
See what I'm saying? So now, once you learn from that, you're like, oh, ain't no kid gonna be around me unsupervised at all, and
Yeah.
that's the catch. But
I even sometimes
so,
catch myself like if I'm walking around Walmart and see a little kid walking by himself, like, hold up, where the fuck?
right, right, right. But see that's a good tool to take forever, and anybody would be advised to have that mindset when it comes to the children. But we see in reality, a lot of our children are not protected to the depths because it don't have to be called jumping off a jumping falling off a boat. It can be in a fire.
Mm-hmm.
It
It
could
could
be a
be in a
shootout.
it can be
Are you
anything.
taking them two
Yes,
bullets to save your child? See, this is why I'm doing
yes.
this. It is easy said than done.
No, it ain't.
You'd be
Sure it ain't.
surprised. You'd be surprised how many guys is going to hesitate more than 5 minutes in making a decision. Am I taking them two
With,
bullets? Am I jumping off this boat? Because it's
with their
easy
own
said than
child,
done with
With their
with
their
their
own
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 child.
child.
child. with their own child card.
There is
Uh,
hesitation.
Ain't no
uh,
hesitation on this end.
I don't know. I had to see those numbers, Carl. I
Yeah,
mean,
because
I understand your argument just
a lot
because,
of I know
but
a lot of fathers will
yeah,
say have pulled their weight when it come down to a kid.
yeah,
To
most
certain
brothers,
things, but when it comes to life and death
Life and death.
situation,
I'm talking about life
most
and
would
death
be life and
situation.
death.
I'm talking about life
Yeah,
and death
Carl,
situation.
Carl,
I know a
you
couple
listen.
dudes that
Yeah,
have done
that's
it
a
for life
broad
and death
statement. You're gonna have to
situation.
get some
I'm
facts on that, Carl.
I'm I'm
You
gonna
gotta
still
bring
go
some
back
facts on that.
to I'm gonna still go back to what I said before. Easy said than done.
Okay.
Because you know, when it comes down to it, a lot of guys have done a lot of things in their life that affected the child. You understand?
Yeah, but still, Carl, in an emergency situation like
Yeah,
that,
so that
all those
that
effects
all
out the
that goes out the
window.
window.
That's
Yeah.
irrelevant. It
Oh,
becomes on the person whose child that is to go and be a man or a woman to do whatever to make sure that child lives.
okay,
That's I mean, I hear your argument though. It's a good argument, but most fathers
okay.
can have natural access to their child every day, and he's working. I believe most brothers would. I would come out burn up like a motherfucker. My whole side of my face would be burnt off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what happened? I was saving my baby. Now the mama,
Yeah.
they
I
might,
can
you
live
know,
with
they all mama had to run.
like I
My
tell
mama, my
my daughter.
kid, and I can get two or three of them on my shoulders. My mama, my kids, everybody coming up out there. My dog, every, but you know, it just
I'm not going into what guys jump in the water to save their baby mother. That's another story.
maybe,
Depends
maybe.
on the
Hold
Because
up,
some
relationship.
maybe
niggas, some
Carl,
dudes will push
Depends
maybe.
their
on the
woman.
relationship.
Some women, some dudes will push their baby mama in the water if they can get
Depends
away with
on
it.
depends on the
Yeah,
relationship.
yeah. It depends on the relationship.
But if
Sure.
we cool and everything, we still talk like we best friends, and we make sure the kid is good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm going in.
yeah.
I'm coming to help.
I'm gonna throw
That
you a
that
life raft and everything. Get that on
Exactly.
that
But
ground.
if we ain't good, I'm just gonna look like, ooh,
Don't look like, ooh, who is
ooh.
that?
damn, you
Now
got
Y'all
I
want,
know
for what?
hey man, hey man, y'all got anybody in the chat y'all want to shout out to, man? Salute the Champ Talk Radio, man. Slam Talk
And salute to that.
reactions, man.
Salute to that. Salute to that drop, man. QVI. Salute what just dropped. Look at the chat,
Yeah,
man.
salute the
What it
QBI.
say? What's up,
uh,
Q? Yeah, Q. I want to make sure I pronounce that right. Makuna. Man, salute with the
oh,
$10 super chat, man. Hey, man, that's what
salute, salute.
y'all
Respect
single
to that,
dudes should be
man.
looking at right there. But yeah, salute to you, sister. Hang out with us. Come
Ooh.
on up if you like, if you know, share your comments, anything.
Now this wouldn't
Ain't got
be it
enough to
will
pay the rent, can we delay the bills? Another dollar getting spent, another day to chill. I can't afford to play it safe, I gotta make a deal. It's gotta be another way, a Cadillac DeVille.
And man,
all right.
anybody, we got any more comments about this topic, man? We're gonna move on, man.
We
Get a
gotta
little
move on. We gotta move
all
on. I
right,
just
let's
wanted to get past that one.
so listen, we guys, and let's go ahead and get into it, man. The trial just ended yesterday, man. It was a lot of different little, I don't know, maybe possibilities, man. So what do y'all think about it, man? What is it, you
For
know what I'm saying?
the
Just a little response to him getting, you know, the lesser charges, not getting released again for bond bail. So, but yeah, what do y'all think, man? Salute,
for,
man.
Man, look, they doing this. He's a millionaire. They're gonna keep him as long as possible. Basically, this turned from all that stuff they try to throw on him to a domestic violence dispute.
Yeah,
it was they
so
was trying to convert it, but my biggest question to the audience and of course to y'all fellas, Cassie, victim or co-defendant?
Carl, we're gonna answer that after you answer the question about my man's
All right,
the results of that. We
okay,
ain't gonna be
okay.
attacking everything. You can't
No,
be.
I have to because I'm gonna be honest.
You
I'm
gotta look
still
at
I'm still stuck on what he got convicted on, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Transportation for the purpose of prostitute. So I gotta ask, who's the prostitute?
exactly. That I got. I had to look at that. I had to look at every aspect of this.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a domestic violence dispute. They ain't getting caught up on pimping. So I'm like, listen,
yeah.
if she went with it, what the hell? Like that's not transportation to prostitution.
You're not giving back all the money you took from him, all the
Exactly.
rent that was paid, all the gifts. So what's going on here? Are you? Oh, wait a minute. Somebody mentioned this yesterday. The prostitute is Punisher. So what you're saying is you convicted him because he hired a stripper to come. But wait a minute. She testified out of her mouth. He testified. She called me. She texted me. She invited me to her house. She
Exactly.
handed me the cash money. Again,
Yeah.
mm.
What's
All
up,
y'all
brother
just put this
Elevator,
man
man?
on. All you did was show the world that this man was a freak, and that was it.
And don't forget
So
that video of her threatening dude, talking about chop him in pieces and make him disappear. And I'll get my man to
Yeah.
finish it. I mean, come on, man.
so
Nice try.
listen, man. We got to realize something here, fellas, and we're going to stick to the topic. He was the one on trial, not her.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, um, the aspect of what happened, let's apply the laws, right? Let's take
Lord.
race out of it. Let's apply the laws. If it was, if Cassie was your sister or aunt or niece or anything like that, how would you feel about it?
First of all, I know you're dealing with Puffy. Therefore, I already know what the fuck's probably gonna go on.
Okay.
That's your chill. You're a grown woman. That's what you choose to deal with.
I
I was like,
the reason why is the reason why I asked that question because I wanted to get that out of the way. I don't want no boundaries
Yeah.
crossing. So on that note,
I'm not jumping out the window with my cape. I'm probably gonna put my foot in her ass.
okay. So my perspective is that from that perspective, as in our culture, let's be realistic. We're the only culture that glorifies shit like this. Other people have been doing it for ages. When I say doing it, they've been doing it for ages behind closed doors and things like that. I think that as a he got off luckily because I don't see the difference between him and Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby. You gonna
Bill
compare him
Cosby.
to Bill Cosby?
I
How
am.
you
I am.
gonna do
There's a reason.
that?
I am.
Bill
I am.
Cosby?
Yep.
Bill Cosby
Okay.
was drugging
Go ahead.
chicks.
Come on, man.
He
Okay.
was too.
No, he wasn't. Listen,
Oh,
man.
Wait a minute, you brought
Okay.
your own
Okay.
shit.
Okay. Okay.
No, there's no
It, it,
comparison.
there's no
no, no,
Listen.
comparison.
fellas. A sex crime is a sex crime. That's what I'm trying. I'm trying
How
to
is
bring
it
it
a
back to
sex
Right.
law.
crime?
How's
Wait
it
a
a sex
minute.
crime when
Where
Right.
you get the sex
when she
crime
got on
Now,
from?
stage, when she got on the damn stand and said she was giving the prostitute money?
She was.
I
Yeah.
no, I am speaking to the words of. I'm not saying it was correct. I'm not saying it was justified. I'm saying by the words of the law. A sex
By the
crime is a
words
sex
of the
crime.
law,
But
it
there
ain't
Yes,
was
about the
no
words of the
sex
law. It's
crime
about the
involved.
justification of the
Hold
law.
up.
but we're
Let,
not. But I'm not the law, so
Lee,
I can't argue that, bro. You asked
Lee.
my opinion.
There
I'm trying
was
to give
no.
my opinion.
Okay, let's be clear about something. There was no sex crime involved in the indictment.
Yes, it
None.
was. Yes, it was. That's
What,
why.
which,
That's what he got.
which one was the sex crime? Her
The
getting the
prostitution
prostitute
is a sex
or
crime.
him watching them go at it?
The prostitution is a sex crime. That's a sex crime.
Bruh, if
That's
he
come on, fellas.
hold on.
Prostitution,
It's
technically,
About
turning a
the
trick.
same amount of money, if this would have took place in Vegas, that
The
million
the
would
the
have been
trick.
brought
The
up.
prostitute is. Hold up. The prostitute is the. Technically, the prostitute turning the trick is committing the crime, not
but
the
it's still a
nigga.
crime. Yeah, I
But
agree
hold
with
up, hold
you.
up. But we gotta make sure we categorize it correctly. The woman that's turning the illegal sex transaction is committing the crime. Cassie committed those crimes. Cassie committed coercion. He did it.
Mhm.
What was smart? That's why I say he's a pervert. I wouldn't hang around with a nigga like that. You niggas dying y'all hair. I don't get along. I ain't saying I get along. I just don't vibe with that. But what I'm saying
Mhm.
is the fact that he was going through professionals. It's motherfuckers out here getting paid to come through her. He was on Craigslist. How many of you niggas on Craigslist out there going over
Mhm.
did his house? Everything he did was documented. That's what made this case solid because
And recorded.
even though it was shiesty, you got some of the top people in the industry for the last 30 years been pulling up over her. Now that shit on Bill Cosby, that was all fake. All that shit was fake.
Yeah.
But that's so. So to my point. What I was saying while I was comparing, I said the words of the law. I don't know the direct words of the law, but the laws within the state that was brought against him, it was illegal. What he did was illegal. That's the
What
sex
what
crime.
did what did he what did they say he did?
The
What that was illegal?
prostitution,
So they tried to say he was
transportation. Yes,
prostituting
he was
Cassie.
prostituting, but yes,
He
that's
was
what
the
I'm saying.
only
That's
one that was prostituting was
It was,
Cassie.
it was, it
but
was,
that's what I'm saying. That's the sex crime. And now, if we go back to
But that
looking
was a
at it,
sex crime on her though, not him.
Not on
I'm not saying that it
Because
wasn't
Cassie
on her.
was bringing people to do what they did. She the one
I
went
know,
out
but
there. And,
what I'm saying, fellas, what I'm trying to answer the question. He is. That's why he got. That's why that charge stuck. Because again, I'm not saying she's not wrong. You asked me about Diddy. I'm talking about Diddy. For him,
correct.
that's the onus he has to own on that being where he lives. That state law says that we're not in Vegas. We're not anywhere else where that's legal. That's why that stuck. The
So
rest of that stuff,
so so him calling a male prostitute to come satisfy his woman and he watch.
it's
He's
it's illegal, bro.
it's illegal.
It's illegal. Look it
So
up.
if he
State
would have
law, New
called
York, legal.
if he called his cousin Ray Ray to do the same thing, it still would have been the wrong thing.
That's why I was trying to finish and say we're the only people that glorify to that extent to where we get
We
exposed.
glorify.
It's not a
Hold on, we
glorification.
glorify. It's not
Let
glorification.
me, can I, let me, you're not
Yeah,
letting me finish.
I want him to finish this. That's why I'm
Yeah.
being silent because
You
I'm
guys,
thinking about the
so when I
Kardashians.
say glorify, meaning that it got so far that he was doing it at live parties with everybody. People that with other industry folks. Like if those things that he kept to himself in his personal bedroom were fine, but then he moved it out into the atmosphere where everybody else in the industry was seeing it. It was like a bragging thing for him.
No.
Yes, it was.
Okay,
Yes, it
can I
was.
ask you?
Yes, it
Can I
So
ask
was.
you a question? Hold on.
When he had those
Who
parties and invited industry people, and he was doing
Talk.
all that stuff with them, and some of them was doing it with him. So he was in a like-minded vicinity.
who was complaining?
Who's
That
complaining? And
that's an
plus that's
opinion. That's
called
opinion. That's opinion based.
plus that's
Wow.
legal. Plus that's legal because that's a lifestyle called swinging.
That's I just said that. I'm trying to say we're the only ones that glorify. Part of the
Yeah,
swinging
glorify.
is part of
I, I,
swinging.
I
The
think
first
the
thing
wrong,
about hold
the
on. The
wrong
first
word.
thing about swinging that you learn about swinging is not to videotape, glorify, do all extra shit with it. That's what you want to call it.
What?
No, swingers do all that.
They do all that, bro.
They do that again. You guys have proved my point. I said within their personal relationships, they do all that. When you put it on a bigger stage,
But it wasn't though.
It wasn't.
It wasn't on the
yes, he was. That's why he could. That's
no no
why
no
he
no
could
no no
record
I
it.
no.
hardly knew about any
Where?
other parties.
Right.
That's why
Nobody
he could
it was
record
all
it.
that was all intimate. That was all intimate between him and
Nobody
No,
Cassie
knew
no,
and
it
about
them.
the
wasn't.
case.
No, it
Nobody knew
wasn't.
about the
People
parties
spoke about
case.
that. People spoke about that. People who
The
got
people
invited to
that
the
were
party.
involved in it, the
Yes,
people that
and that's
was
what I'm saying.
involved in it.
And that's what I'm
Hey,
saying. But
Hey,
he
Lee.
got bigger out. Hold on, it got bigger outside of his own bedroom.
But
That's what
that
I'm
has
talking about.
nothing. But that's not a crime though, because the people that actually participate in that same thing is just committing the same crime.
Yeah.
But they
Hey, Lee,
weren't
let me
brought
ask you
up.
something. Let
But
me ask you
okay,
something, Lee.
I get that.
They
But
weren't brought up. We're
he
talking
was the
about him.
Tuffy's the target,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And they
that's what I.
use and to show that this is where when I look at stuff like this when it comes to us, this is where they can always keep us sort of split down the middle, right?
Mhm.
So because he was allowed to do what he was doing for about the last 30 years. I look at everything. The fact that a lot of his artists under that label are no longer here mysteriously or something happened. It's just odd to me that under Motown had all them artists and you never seen it sort of so close together in a short period of time. Now,
Mm.
the stuff he was doing is audio, video, whatever of him doing it with rappers, and some of y'all probably bought their albums and you know what I'm saying. But then he has all this history of just sort of having little weird people because almost everybody that participated, a lot of them guys, some of those women, they were all getting paid under agency. They were all hired. Most of them was hired, and then like the celebrities, they volunteered to come over there, grown ass men and women.
Yeah.
That's why they
And
just
some of them were modeling agencies and stuff like that.
and that's where most of them came from: modeling agencies, dating agencies, and Craigslist individual bosses. You can hire me to come over and punish.
So I'm again to me, and again to me, he like I said, he's the offender in the situation. This is what happens if it was at this point in time. And I'm going back to answering your question, Carl. As a black man, he had a responsibility, and I'm gonna leave it at that. You all
Yes.
want his
Let me ask.
responsibility. He had a
Let me ask.
responsibility
To who?
to the community.
Well, I will say that today, coming back, because he'll still be able to redeem himself, because he'll come on YouTube and black folk will spend $100 million to go let him tell his story. But he has an opportunity now to redeem himself through the community. That's the thing. If he doesn't, then it's gonna be a little shaky because he's
I
gonna
hate
be
to,
back out
I
here with
hate,
the regular folk. So
I hate to bring up analogy, and I hate to even put anyone on the spot. But Lee,
Yes, sir.
you just got a phone call from Regina King,
Mm-hmm.
and she says she wants to meet you. She want to get to know you. All you got to do is fly her out. Now, of course, as a man, natural order of things, man, Regina King is coming to my house and she's interested in me. Oh, I'm gonna get laid. Presumption.
Mm-hmm.
What they're saying in the message is that if you fall in love or if you get into a relationship with a chick and you put her on a plane and you're paying for her transport, you're held liable to get locked up. All because in your mind you hope to get laid. That's the message.
I don't
So
think that's.
all
I
so
don't think
all
that's.
these chicks out here trying to convince men to fly them out, and the guys on the receiving end hoping, hey, I hope I get lucky. If they don't get lucky, or if she decide to change her mind or scream whatever, you're holding the bag because
But
that's all you
that's
did.
isn't that an assumed risk though?
Do you really want government in your bedroom that hard?
But that's what I'm saying to you. Is that assumed risk, being that you have that as the person that you have, with the credibility that you have, with the background that you have, the attention that's on you, wouldn't that be an assumed risk? Meaning how you move and the things you do should be more calculated.
It's in my opinion, for a man, due diligence, but it's very difficult to interact with somebody from a distance. You have to be face to face at some point, even if it is for the purpose of just having a swing party or a couple relationship or whatever. I mean, come on.
Were they in a relationship though? Was him and Cassie? Were him and Cassie in a relationship?
Yes.
yes, and
Yes, yes, and no, because she
but
was married at the time when she was still messing with Diddy.
but they started out that way, right? So she's fully participating in her actions before. They didn't hold her accountable because they wasn't going to. They only
Right.
tape they showed was her and him. He's an asshole, and he was only allowed to do early in life because most brothers, if you give him permission to do the egregious acts that he was able to do, most
Mhm.
would fall victim under that. And that's the unfortunate thing to me is that a lot of that behavior is only subjugated to us. Now it's
Good.
like a backtrack. I don't think we glorify it. I think most people relate to it because that's what they see the most. They don't see the doctor, they don't see the scientist, they don't see the artist, and
Mm.
P. Diddy, just like anybody else who's willing to subjugate the black people, then they're gonna get or not. It's gonna be somebody else probably next summer who's gonna start coming to the top.
So
But it's
that
And
so
nobody's condoning him, his actions.
no.
Nobody's a fan or nothing like that. But when you look through the layers and say, wait a minute, y'all overcharged them so y'all could get him kept in. You know, if you would have started off with these charges he was convicted of, he wouldn't even saw the jail cell. And you know that.
exactly.
So you had to
Yeah.
overcharge him to get this thing to stick him right where he's been at for the last 3 months.
But he's been there. He's been in jail almost a year. You know what I'm saying? So maybe it can be time served in that 90 days.
No,
They're
they
gonna put
didn't
some
release him.
restrictions on him. You're right,
They didn't.
but they're gonna put some restrictions on him though, because in
I
90
don't.
days
I
they're
don't
going
think.
back to trial. They're gonna
I
come
don't
back. They're
think
gonna
so.
sentence them.
I think they're gonna give him time. It may not be
I
the
think
full 10, but they're gonna give him time.
about a
No,
year and a half
but
or
it's
so.
going to give him any little bit of time. It's going. Well, you got to look at what he's served now. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're gonna
it's
add
like
that on there.
it's like that. But the whole thing I want to address, Wife School podcast. She said, "Wow, making groupies reclassified as models and agents. While y'all making many excuses. Look, it's not an excuse. They can do
Groupies.
it can be whoever. It's still what it was.
Hey, hold up. She called them groupies, but they were paid.
They were paid.
They were paid. and they had W-4s. He went through agencies to pick these people up. Don't you have to register through
You
the
got
agency?
you got people off your game. He was keeping, like Coach said, documenting.
Yeah, he kept everything
Ooh.
documented. That's why they had small charges on him.
Yep.
Because he
You
was
better,
very thorough
yeah.
in his documentation.
And Steph, I got to tell you, you better go back and read up about Madonna and what she was doing back in the day.
Hey,
This is
true.
nothing new. This is
True.
nothing new. Like I said, the recording, I think it was planned. I think that again, being planned, the recording that where she's threatening a dude, no police report from the 2016 incident in the hotel. Yo, no, no, she's not a victim. She is definitely a co-defendant. And like I said, I can't wait for them to go after Remy Ma next. I can't wait for them to go after the chick. The most upsetting thing is that there's no repercussion for the females that lie. I think that's what is more of a trigger. There's
Mm-hmm.
no repercussion. They can blurt out anything, get the public to believe them, the courts, whatever. And then when they get caught out there in the lie, or come to find out it wasn't true, there's no repercussion, man. So that's where I stand with it.
That's crazy. All right, what's next?
Brother King,
Good
What's
evening,
up, brother
gentlemen.
King, man?
I
Salute,
am
man.
s- I am so glad you're here. I want to just
Yeah.
rephrase two questions to you.
How you come in like Darth Vader talking about good evening, gentlemen?
You know how he does. So King, you're on a
Yes, sir.
cruise. Your son, your daughter, they're not big, they little. Somehow they fell overboard into the water. What's your next move, bro?
I'm in there.
My man. Baby mama calls you and says her light bill is $480. Are you calling to make sure that's confirmed or you just giving her the money?
I'm sending her like 6 or 7.
67 what?
You
100.
know what? You know what? Never mind. Never mind. So you and
I'm
no
just
no
being
no no.
so
Hold
here's
on, King.
why.
Hold on, King. Hold on, King.
I'm
Hold
100%.
on, King. Hold on, I got the ringer for this one. She got somebody living there with her, and y'all ain't on good terms.
If she has somebody living there with her, that's not my problem. The money, the bill's not my problem.
So are you doing this at a 25, 35, or 45
The
year
mother
old?
of my kids, and my kids.
Okay. So
I'm doing this. I'm doing this across the board, the same way. I was married by 27, so I just even before I got married at 27, I was always marriage minded. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm.
So a lot of my actions were the actions of a guy who's looking to create something long term. As long as you've made me children, as long as you set aside your goals and priorities for me, I'm going to make sure that you're okay. So if you saying here that you say the bill's 480, I don't really tend to be with somebody that's going to lie. If the bill was really 180, chances I've never dated, ever dated in my life the kind of girl that could not afford to get her own hair done. So I'm not worried about if you're padding the bill to go get your hair and nails done. So if
mm,
you're asking for 480 or and it was a lie because you really needed that extra 300, chances are it was a pride thing. And you didn't want to say that you just ain't got it for all the bills. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm gonna leave a little room for you to be flawed. I don't expect
so
perfection
so
out of
so
everybody.
I guess there goes an
Man, that's
enabling.
bullshit,
Hold on.
man.
No, 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 no. So now what you're saying is that
Oh,
you are
man.
going to enable a woman that claims she's independent. Because remember, you're no longer together. She is now independent.
if she made if she made my children, making sure that she is okay up to a certain point is still something I'm going to be all right with making sure of. Now
You're
let's
gonna pay her rent, you're gonna pay her light bill, and you're gonna take care of the kid. And you ain't even keeping no receipts of whatever you buy.
now you're being a little bit more extreme than what I'm referring to. You're talking about a monthly commitment to always make sure that whatever the hell she needs. I'm sitting here saying if she reaches out, I'm not going to go and fact check whether it was 180 or 480. That's what I'm saying. I think there's a pretty big gap between what I'm saying and what you're saying. I'm just not
Yeah,
checking.
It's
I
not
get
really
it.
because
I get it.
if I give you an inch, you're gonna take a yard. That's the old saying, right?
No, what he's
If you haven't given me a reason to distrust you, I'm taking you at
right.
your word.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
Carl. That's how it happens, though. He's speaking from a
Okay.
first-time incident. This is
Yeah,
what most men would do.
yeah.
He's speaking
Okay.
from that experience. Now, and see, that's what I'm saying. There's caveats, and they can be looked at from this point, the beginning, because that's the way he's
Different
answering
lens.
from. Or it's the
Hmm.
fourth time she done came to you in the last 9 months talking about I
Right.
need
And okay,
4 extra.
right.
You
Yeah,
Exactly,
know
if
what
we
exactly,
I'm
at we
saying?
at
exactly.
yeah, if we at the third or fourth time and
Yeah,
the shit ain't adding up. You know what I'm saying? Probably by the second time I'm already got the nose scrunched up,
yeah,
like what the fuck going
yeah.
on?
I ain't
You know
doing
what I'm
it.
saying?
Yeah.
Like that's a different caveat. Now
That's when
What
I'm
that's
you
not
when we
looking
what
for
you
call
a
doing
that's
with your money? What you
yeah,
budgeted?
yeah. That's when we call
right.
the
You
that's
know
when
what I'm
we
saying?
call
I'm
the
not looking
electric bill
for
company and be
another
like, yo,
dependent.
what's this right here?
And
Yeah,
how
okay,
how
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden you pushing something nice, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yo,
or
this is
nicer.
crazy.
Is that to pay your car note? What
I
the?
feel like I'm paying your car
Yeah.
note now instead of the electric
So
bill.
that
I
was
get it.
good. That was good, man.
Okay.
So fellas, listen, man. We got a few questions, man. Y'all want me go? Y'all want me go down 3 or 4 of them and y'all
Let's go.
choose?
Let's
Let's
go.
go.
Okay. So we talked about the Diddy. So next one we got the man in the BBL Society. That's one. Got B Simone and the broke mentality. Let me see what's that. We already talked about that. Okay, a bonus question if y'all want to get into it. Trump's big bill that he just passed. He said beautiful, but I ain't call that shit beautiful. Trump's the bill that just passed. What he think? And so we got B Simone and the broke mentality, and man and the BBL society.
Man, BBL Society, Trump, and then save the other one for last because my brain is still wrapping around shit. So, the BBL, what's up with that?
Yeah, let's do it there.
Okay.
Anybody even done slapped a few of them?
Um, Me personally, I think you need a license to have that. I don't think that applies for everybody. I think they should abolish it because y'all know damn well you can't have that shit after 50. They got to take it out. So why did you waste your money or his money getting it? It got to come out. You're going to be like K. Michelle. Go back to
Man,
being flabby and saggy.
I can spend the kids' college funds on my BBL. What you talking about?
You're a goddamn fool.
You
I
damn.
can do that. You can't tell me what to do. It's my money. I work for it.
Okay,
Well,
go
when
ahead.
did you
Work
ever
for it.
see
You're
a
gonna work for it to get it
55, 60 year
removed
old
too.
woman with a when did you ever see a 55, 60-year-old woman with a BBL?
Maybe I'll be the first. What you talking about? You don't
Yeah,
know.
all right. All right.
You gotta work for that
All
money to
right.
get it removed too.
Oh shit.
Y'all don't
Just
know,
make
man.
My drink almost
just make
came back
sure
out.
just make sure just make sure I'm a minister of a state before you go in the hospital. That's all.
Man, y'all don't know, man. I could be the first 55-year-old,
Let me
60-year-old with a BBL and
well
still be getting y'all young
well here,
niggas
sign the
money.
power of attorney real quick.
Hey,
And you
so
still listen, even with the BBL, I just thought about that. I'm sorry. You're still fuckable and not keepable, even with the BBL.
and that's what I was about to ask you. Are we that question, Coach? How is that worded? Is it towards the men and or women or both? I mean, how is that? Because men are in the society now. They're getting their abs done. They're doing all this dumb shit. So
You know
Damn, ain't
what?
no
We're not talking
brother.
about no.
Time
Listen,
out, man.
okay,
What
now
we're
I'm
not
asking because
doing.
listen,
I'm
they're
with
men.
listen.
Carl on this one. We're not talking
We
about
ain't.
that.
No, we're
No,
not doing
man.
that shit.
I'm just asking the question. I'm asking
Listen,
so to answer from the
Yeah, I'm with
perspective of
Carl on
Let,
okay,
let
that.
me ask.
okay.
Hold on. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. We all in the room, okay? And some dude walk in the barber shop and he just got a BBL. What the
First of all,
fuck are we?
why you looking at his ass? First of all, why you looking
Come
at
well,
on, man.
BBL is not his ass though. That's what I'm saying.
I
No,
don't
In
care
the
where the
industry, it's not what.
BBL is
hold
at.
up, hold up. So you mean tell me? Listen, man. Listen, man. Y'all young dudes, man. Listen, no, listen.
Listen,
I respect y'all, brothers. But you mean tell me, brother Cognition, that brothers out here 40 and under are getting fake muscles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yes.
where I'm gonna hit him wherever that BBL is.
Them women go run y'all through the wrangle, man. They gonna lead y'all to man.
If
So
you got
brothers,
They
if you're
get
a
abs and
man,
they get pecs. They get abs and
and I'm
pecs.
gonna hit
Hey,
you right
Trey.
wherever that shit is at.
And yeah.
They saying the Drake. That's what Drake has.
Hmm.
yeah,
I mean,
him. I believe you can tell. Listen, I've been into sort of fitness all my life. I wasn't no bodybuilder. I wasn't. I could bench 300 pounds my junior year, but I played football, right? So when it's natural, it's a different cut. A lot of the you know that they say they take the protein, but when they take them little steroids, it buffs them up like you know what I'm saying. They look like a swollen chicken. They don't look nice and lean, and like you can tell who sort of did that because when you I look at a dude's 7th, 8th grade, 9th grade picture, and all of a sudden he buff. You like this dude was skinny as hell in high school. Now he got extra chest and extra shoulders. A lot of that ain't real. It ain't natural.
I know it's
But
gonna be a lot of jiggling.
it ain't it's gonna be
But
fake.
hold on, fellas, and it's funny because I was just about to ask y'all this question, but Wife Podcast put it in there for y'all because that's where it's heading because they're known as the queens of the BBLs, the Latin community, and that's what we look at. You see that question?
Look, yo, I'm
You
sorry.
know what?
It's
I'm
too many.
gonna
It's
But
too
I
many.
would
It's
marry
too
a
many.
Latin woman queen of the BBLs.
It's too many Latin women out here that's natural as hell.
Yeah, not the Latin. I'll tell you the Mexican
God,
one.
I can't.
hey, D. They still wearing their real hair, so I'm not gonna
Exactly,
even talk about it.
exactly. They still walk out the house in the middle of winter, hair wet as hell, with
Come on.
icicles at the bottom.
I'm not even gonna talk about them. But I am gonna embarrass the shit out of a dude that got a Velcro beard or spray on hair or any of that fake shit. I'm gonna embarrass the
Exactly,
shit out of you.
Damn.
exactly. You will get roasted hard as hell.
And y'all seen Puffy, right? He better not
Mm.
come out here dying and shit again. That shit is over.
Yep.
If
That's
you
All I
over.
win,
know, he got that
Oh,
gray. You know,
It's
but keep
over.
it.
Trey,
If he's dying his hair,
he
he's gonna be right back with some all over all y'all niggas.
He gonna be back to motherfucking Cocoa Bean number
oh,
5.
he's
Pardon me for
definitely
cussing.
yes, yes.
That's
But
what he
but
had,
fellas,
Coco
fellas,
Bean.
fellas,
Cocoa
come on
Bean
now.
number 12.
But you look at the
Beijing
bigger.
number 3 and shit.
But I'm about to, and
Listen,
hold on, hold on. It's funny that we segued into that, coach, because from the BBL to that, a lot
Yeah.
of females are saying we're catching up with them. The toupees, the Velcro braids, the spray on hairline.
I think
yeah, all right,
I can see
every
that
woman
because the dudes are less secure themselves, and that is
all
the
right,
issue.
But
It's
here's
the
the
all right.
thing.
mentality of the security of their mental
Mhm.
capacity. They
The,
struggling with thinking past the woman. A lot of dudes want to sort of emulate the
Listen,
female side of themselves and not the masculine side.
but
And
see,
you
here's
need
the thing.
to figure
okay.
out
I'm sorry. I'm the brother that's gonna tell you. If you're going bald, just cut it all off, bro.
cut that shit out.
Cut it
Just
off.
make sure you got a round head. If you ain't got a round head,
If I see that you got a bald spot, bro, just cut it off.
I'm
Leave
telling
it.
you,
They're like, what
I'm
would you
telling
do?
you,
I said, if it's
I'm gonna
me,
embarrass
if you
you.
see me with a bald spot, I ain't keeping it. I'm cutting all this off and go
That's
rock the
right.
beard.
Well, hold on,
and
hold
I
on,
can
hold on, hold
listen,
on.
I can agree with you guys. All right. Before y'all see me with some comb over dreads.
And I'm gonna tell you, King, I'm telling you,
I'm going
even them
straight bald.
motherfuckers with the braids and the dread, if you only got 4 or 5 fucking dread, I'm cutting that shit bald. Receding hairline, you're going bald. If you got 4 braids, I'm cutting it bald.
Don't
Yeah,
be
No,
you're
we
don't be
not
ain't
gonna
like
playing
be
them games.
don't be like
yeah, you're
Stevie
not gonna be
Wonder.
Coolio in the spot. Instead of
So
Nah,
hanging
we
out.
ain't playing Stevie Wonder. What the fuck?
Don't
hold
be
on.
like
So
No,
for
Stevie
Coolio and
men,
Wonder.
Stevie Wonder. You
That
gonna
shit
we ain't
leave
doing
that
that.
beard and braid it.
so for men, I think that perspective, and if we look at it from that, isn't it part of hygiene though?
yes, yes, it
That's
is.
no.
It
Stop.
is, Carl.
You
No,
What
old
it is
enough
bald,
to
part
what
of
know.
balding?
Listen, you old enough to know in here the difference between hygiene and grooming.
Yeah.
yeah, it's part of it. They both
No,
together.
Like, yo,
grooming
guys,
has nothing. No, it's separate. Grooming and
it's separate.
hygiene is not the same.
It's the same
they,
compartment. I'm gonna explain why, right? I
Please
groom
do.
myself all the time, right? Also in grooming my beard, I have to make sure it's clean. Y'all groom your beard. Y'all grooming it, right? You got to make sure it's clean, right?
There's a lot of dudes that went into their funky ass to the barber shop, got a shape up, and still didn't take a bath yet. Now they look good, grooming wise, but they're funky as motherfuckers.
You got bad hygiene all the way around.
But
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying ties in the hygiene.
It's
No,
It's
hygiene all the way
not.
around.
no,
Because
you
once you
talking
get a
about?
A
haircut, you're
lot of
supposed
people,
to wash
a
your
lot of people
hair.
brush,
Oh, I
a
thought you
lot
were
of
talking
people
about
brush their
balding.
teeth, but don't brush their lips and
I was
tongue.
like, no, I
You're
thought you
right.
said balding
That's
because
the problem right there.
balding sometimes is just hereditary.
I'm not even gonna talk about that. Ken
Yeah,
trying
so
to set me up.
it's funny. I think I got both my parents, like my mother's father was bald, but
Yeah,
he was King Talk's complexion. My daddy and my brother, they were like, well, my daddy was like, and my grandfather, but they died with a head full of hair.
Well, hold on, coach. Well, I hold that, coach. So, Carl, if it's a difference, where do you draw the line at hygiene and grooming for men?
I just said it. You can shave, you can line up, all of that Steve Harvey shit. But guess what? You're still funky.
Yeah, he's still
No,
funky
you're just talking about just your facial and your head. I'm talking about the entire
Well,
body.
I
body.
said grooming, shaving, shape up, lining, hair straight. That's grooming.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Body odor,
it's hygiene.
funky clothes. That's hygiene. That's not
No, no,
grooming.
no, no. I think you're mistaken what I'm saying to you. I'm talking about
Yes.
if part of your haircut is part of your haircut is grooming. I get that, but
Hmm.
after the grooming, you have to wash it
Wash it.
and make sure it's good. So
Yeah.
where do you stop as a man when you go into the hygiene now? Because other parts of your body has hair on it. So as men, where do we draw the line with hygiene and grooming if you're going to separate them?
You can't.
I don't.
It's hard. I
Yeah.
know you. I know what you're saying,
The,
Carl.
the way
It's
that you
hard, but
clean
you can't.
yourself, the way that you clean yourself is hygiene. The way that you
Yes.
present yourself is grooming.
Mhm.
That's the difference.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
trying to go back to my father real quick and say, wait a minute. Was there any unwritten rule that a man must take a shower before he goes to the barber shop?
No, it's not before. It's after.
After.
You're supposed to cleanse yourself after you get out.
So now you know why I said it's separated because you are taking your funky ass in the barber shop. He shape you up and make you look like you clean, but you're not clean
No,
because
you're
you
missing my question,
hygienic.
Carl. You're missing my question. I'm saying, where do we stop with hygiene as men when it comes to? I think, coach, know what I'm talking about. There's
Well,
other parts of your body.
you're never
Listen.
supposed to stop with hygiene.
Using the
No,
same
But
this is what I'm
even
graphic
saying.
balls and face is hilarious.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and all how does hygiene work
even
for men versus? That's what I'm saying.
hey,
Well,
hey,
what do
wait,
You
you?
better have at least two rags, or you
yeah.
That's what
nasty
I'm
as
at.
shit.
Yeah.
Two rags, two
But see,
rags.
here's
You better
listen. I'm
have
gonna say this, fellas, and I'm gonna go because Carl,
nasty.
I'm really big on hygiene and grooming and all of that, right? Because a lot of people listen. Everybody should take a bath at least once a week, right? And just hold up, and you because you gotta sit and let your fingers wrinkle up in the hottest water you can stand it. If you really want to get sexy with it, pour some rubbing alcohol in it. It massages your muscles, right? You sit in there for 30 minutes. You got these big old piles of hair, like you got somebody in the headlock. Take your little ragged clippers and just cut it down halfway. You ain't got to do it all. Just cut it down halfway. Hold on,
Okay,
hold on.
okay.
I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna finish. So
I'm gonna
also,
use me as an go ahead. I'm gonna use me as an
also,
Let the
example.
man finish,
I'm
Carl.
using me. Also, you know what I'm saying? You got grooming hair, you got ball hair and all that. You got the between your legs. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you look at it, make sure it's clean. Pick all the hair bumps if you got that. Get some good dial soap. That'll help that area. However, right then you got the bottom of your feet. All that shit on your extra toenail, the overlap, that's part of your hygiene and grooming yourself. It's a mixture. And after a while, you wonder why your feet stink because you don't change your socks and all. All that's part of that process. For a man, there's no separation. You do them both together at the same time. I don't give a damn. You do them both together. I ain't saying doing it every day, but you wash your ass every day
You can't
before.
groom bad hygiene. You
You
can't groom
gotta
bad
keep it
hygiene.
together. You can't separate it because we men, we gonna do it all. You
Well,
can't
then I'm
have no
fucked
walk
up.
around with
Then
no monkey balls talking about, hey girl.
yeah, I'm
No,
fucked up.
You
monkey
can't
I'm
groom
breath.
bad hygiene.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm
Shave,
sorry, fellas. I
shave the
didn't
dirt,
listen.
nose hair, shave it out
Listen.
your my
That's
nose,
I
shave
didn't
it.
shave yet. I need to shave
Not
because
saying
I
right now,
listen.
Carl. I'm
Listen,
just
what I'm
saying.
saying.
I need to
No.
shave, right? I have to shave every 3 days or I look like Morgan Freeman. So body's clean because I
Yo,
took my shower and everything,
you
but I
can't groom
didn't
that
groom.
hygiene.
Listen what I'm saying. I didn't groom yet. Body clean, but I didn't groom yet. That's why it's separate.
So,
Mhm.
Carl, you're missing the
I
point.
definitely made sure I was groomed.
If you, if you, if you,
Being
you
around you gentlemen, I got to make sure that I'm groomed. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Yeah.
yeah,
Normally I
so
go. I'm
you,
lumberjack rasta. So,
yeah,
Well,
yeah, you
I'm
can't
glad we got
groom.
some
You cannot
Listen,
agreement.
groom bad
I
hygiene.
I
can't.
see
You
your
I
can't.
mom
listen. I'm
every
sorry. I'm
other
not
day.
the. I can't. I can't be the guy that, like, like we've seen females. They never get on camera unless the hair, makeup is in point. We have 3, 5, 10 o'clock shadow. Sometimes let that shit go. Fuck that shit. We're not in the mirror. That's why I call metrosexuals. We're not in the mirror making sure we primping and all of this shit every day. Some days it's like, man, fuck that razor, man.
It's and that's and
Facts.
the only reason why you get away with that, Carl, is because of the masculine energy as far as men to look stoic. The definition of stoic is looking that way, looking rough. That gives a better posture as a man in society. That's the only reason why. But once you get into a place where you have to be groomed and hygiene, they go hand in hand. All right,
I'm
cool.
All right,
I'm
cool.
not gonna
Great
tell
show,
you.
man. Keep rocking, fellas. Keep rocking.
I'm not gonna tell you how many times I went to work and I wasn't properly groomed, but damn it, the clothes and everything else was clean, so I went to work.
Keep
What's
that in mind.
damn it, this I hate when coach do that shit.
He
Oh, the
said
next
bye.
one was the was I mean was let's segue for a little bit because
Yeah,
from
you
that
do this,
perspective.
Lee, because I'm not looking at this
He
shit.
said bye.
He said, "But so
Fuck.
segue into that. All right, hold on. So segue into hygiene. Let's keep it there for a second. A woman's
Uh,
hygiene. How important is that to you?
a
It's
woman's
everything.
hygiene?
Yeah,
Wait a minute. Whoa. A woman's hygiene?
yeah. How do you?
Man,
They worse than us.
No,
listen, bathtub, um, exfoliate like a motherfucker, but I'm different. I'm the guy you might call this weird. I'm the guy that used Gillette Fusion razor and I love shaving it down. I don't like hair. I don't. Dark towel, lay your ass there. I'm shaving that shit bald and then rinse off and then so yeah, I'm a stickler about that when it comes to a woman.
would you shave your woman?
Of course, that's all I've done. I'm
That's
not
what
doing.
he's saying. He
That's what I'm
does.
saying. I don't know. I'm
Would you
not
let her
doing it.
shave you?
Oh hell no! What the fuck, nigga?
Ah,
The fuck?
hold
You
on.
know? Wait a minute. First
Oh,
of all,
man.
you got whoa, 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 whoa.
Hold on now, God.
Listen. I
Hey,
want you to.
hold on.
I
That's
want you
that
to
shit.
think of. Hold on. Let's think about the position your black ass got to
Hold on,
be
Carl.
for
Hold on,
that to be
Carl. That
accomplished.
should
Are
tell
you
that tell me
crazy?
right there. Carl was like, I talk too much shit to let nobody know. Look at
Yeah.
that one
I,
time.
I gotta.
I
I
want.
had to ask the
I
question
want you
because
to
I'm like,
understand, Lee. What is the position as a man you would have to be in to allow that shit to happen?
No, you have to have a lot of trust for that woman to do that
Ain't
shit.
no trust in the world. No, get the fuck
but
away
she's
from me.
trusting
No.
you. You just said.
Excuse me. Excuse me. What I do, you don't do. Listen, I pee standing up, you pee sitting down. We ain't taking no. We ain't doing that.
Yo,
Carl
Yo, I'm making my
said,
chest
no,
hurt.
what the
What
Yo,
are
fuck?
you
making
talking
my
about?
chest hurt.
Lay back, babe. I'm gonna shave you next. I wish you would. About your damn mind. Matter of fact,
Yo.
you listen, you trying to
Ooh,
get a
this.
felony.
Oh, these are natural chest pains. Okay.
You trying
Oh
to get
yeah.
shit.
felonies.
Hey,
No.
King, I had to ask him because the way he was pushing it, I had
Mm-mm,
to go in
mm-mm.
there with it real quick.
See, with me,
Yo.
I'm gonna tell you why I said that with me, it's part of the sensuality of it. You
Mm.
Oh fuck.
understand?
It's
That's where it is for me. It's the pleasure
what?
thing for me. So laying her there and soaping up and Gillette
Oh
Fusion
shit.
and no butt.
Carl,
That,
Carl,
but
Carl.
I'm not laying
Like I
down doing
said
that shit.
before, bro, that just shows that Carl's like, I talk too much shit.
Oh shit. All that shit
Listen,
damn quickly.
listen, listen. Whoa,
Oh fuck.
whoa. Mm-mm.
So
No,
so so
no,
so
hell no.
so hold on. So you're all right. So let's keep going with this.
Don't even
Um,
touch my feet.
you see a lot of these clips on YouTube and with us from the islands, how they go on these girl trips and they get massages and things like that. How you feel about that?
Man, listen,
I
yo,
don't give a fuck.
man, you don't give.
What, she went to Jamaica and Dexter gave her a massage?
Have you
Yeah,
seen?
on the on the
Have you seen the latest one with the African dudes? Fuck that.
You know,
It had old girl wide open. Like, nah, I lose my shit.
so how y'all feel about girl trips?
what?
Man, look,
How y'all feel about
I
girl
already
trips?
know
What
what
about
about
girl
this gonna
trip? What they
happen.
got to do with me?
You
I'm
okay
not a
with your girl?
girl.
You okay with your girl and wife going on a girl trip?
I'm not a girl. So what the fuck do y'all
No,
care?
I'm asking, are you okay with it as a man?
Of
Carl,
course. What the goodbyes? Let me know
Carl,
when you get back. Make sure you're safe.
Carl,
I'm just saying.
brother.
Listen, I can't sit here and say hell no, and then when I want time alone away from your black ass, come on, come on.
You might be the only one up here with that car. How you feel about that, King Talk?
Actually, my my wife and I have been asked that question before, and she just doesn't really desire to do girls trip. She doesn't think she doesn't think it's a wife thing to do.
I get some feedback. You
Your
change it.
feedback.
Did you change your position on your phone?
I didn't change anything.
Okay, it's the headphones. It got to be your headphones.
I'll refresh real quick, but I don't use headphones.
No, it's not me. It's not me.
Yeah.
Got to check those headphones, guys.
Is anybody using?
Carl, reset it, Carl.
That's it. 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, it's you.
Hey, Carl. Yeah, it's you. It's once you mute, it's gone.
Sound check.
It's between you and
I'm gonna
Carl.
go
Because
out
once
and
y'all both
I'm gonna
left,
go out and come
Carl,
back. Don't
somebody got to
worry.
cut
I
the
go out and
volume
come
down.
back.
Okay.
Somebody got to cut
hey,
the
wait.
volume down.
That's weird. Check check. Come back.
Can you hear? We good?
Lee, you good? Now it's happening with me.
Can y'all hear me? Yeah, I'm nobody. I'm not getting no feedback from, but I don't know what's going on.
It's happening with me now. Me, try to cut your volume down a little bit.
Check check.
Test it. 1 2 1 2. Test it. 1 2 1
One,
2.
two, 1 2. We come out. I'll
Okay.
come out and come back.
Okay. So my wife. Check check.
Lee. Now we're good.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm
Let
gonna
me
answer
find
this
out it
way.
was Leah this whole time.
Yeah. So I'm old school. I don't use my ear pods. I don't use.
That's
Yeah.
definitely Lee.
Yeah. I don't
That's
use ear pods
definitely Lee.
or headphones. So
Yeah,
I was
that's Lee.
surprised.
That's Lee.
Yeah, I'm old school with it. All I need is one mic, one mic. You know what I mean? All right. So, so, but no, my wife doesn't really. I'm so fortunate because I'm. It sounds like a lot of this stuff isn't out here in great abundance anymore. But my wife is old school. All her friends are married. She has one friend that's not married, but she's marriage minded. So they don't do girls' trips. They might do a spa day. You know what I mean? Like the
Hmm.
notion that you got to go out of town for days at a time, like you really need a break from I don't know. That's not something that's her, right? She'll do a spa day all day, and I'll pay for it. Like, yeah, go get your hair done, your nails done, the mask, all that other stuff that y'all. What do you say? The whole whatever. But do that. Have your day. You know what I'm saying? Have some sip mimosas while you're getting your feet done, whatever. But she's not interested in
I,
a girl strip. And
I
maybe
don't,
if
I
she
don't,
was interested, but it was married women, I wouldn't have a problem with her.
I'm strongly
She ain't gonna have Trevor.
from listening to different people over the years. It's more about can you deal without a partner for a period of time? That's what it
Mm.
is. And I think that's, people have an issue with being away from their partner for a period of time. Can
Yeah,
they do
when
it?
she goes and sees her mother. Like her mother lives in New England. She'll go see her mom for like a week, or she has a family, like a elderly family that lives on the eastern shore part of Maryland, which is like
Mm.
2 hours away. She'll go see them, take the kids. You know what I'm saying? She's going to see them. Ever since we had more than two kids, she can't. She doesn't feel like she. You know what I'm saying? She don't feel right if she away from her kids. So
Yeah.
she'll have the option to not take her kids, but the people there want to see the kids too. So
And
inevitably,
that plays a role. There's a difference between you and her versus the children being involved in the equation. Because if you're talking about two people together in a relationship and there's no kids involved on either side, yeah, taking a break from each other for a week, a girls' trip or whatever, is no thing. But when you talking about kids, yo, we already got used to the fact that one of us got to be around for the kid. It's not
hmm
both of us disappeared. So it takes a different meaning, especially
right?
for women. They're close to their kids. You can't just, I'm going to leave them home with the man and I'm going to go for a girl trip. What the fuck?
Yeah, that
You gotta be a bugged out chick for that shit.
right, right.
Cause they're gonna eat pizza all week long. But that nigga ain't cooking every. No, I'm just talking.
Yo, so I will say this. One of these days, I'm gonna put up some of the videos of what it's like when Dad makes breakfast. I'm in the crib remixing NWA Ice Cube, dancing around the house, making oatmeal or porridge with some scrambled eggs, throwing up the West Side. Like we keep it gangster, dog. We keep it gangster.
Yeah.
Like it's a whole different thing with Dad making breakfast. The toast pops up. I'm sliding. Like what's that old movie with Ferris Bueller when he slid across with the socks on? Risky Business. Risky
Risky
Business,
business. Yeah. Yeah.
right? So
That was cool.
I'm super silly over the top. My kids is laughing to tears in their face. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like it just
Well,
depends. I wouldn't mind.
that's how most households is when you think about it, where the male is involved. They have more fun with dad than mom because mom is more mechanical. The structure with mom is more like, okay, I gotta multitask, and it's not as fun as with dad. He don't give a damn about a lot of shit. So, hey man, we can hang out, we can eat candy, we can do a lot of shit. Dad don't give a fuck. You know. Come on, Lee.
Fuck a girls trip. If I'm in a relationship with you, I'm the only person you're going on a trip with. We don't need any time off from each other because we're building something. When it comes to depending on my lifestyle, when it comes to that situation, I've been on that. I've been on both sides of that coin. I think that once you get into a relationship and you've assembled your mind and your thought process to the point where you're building something, it's just me and you.
So,
If you want some time off, you don't need to go to another country. You don't need to go anywhere else. You can within
wow.
you can literally there are other things that can be done as adults because that standard and that boundary that's crossed. The majority of girl trips in entanglement is single females.
Really?
The majority of them are. Let's
But
be
they have,
The
realistic.
majority of them are.
The
but,
majority of them are, and you're
but,
going to peer
Yeah.
pressure. Peer pressure is
Because
what it is.
it's hard to find a bunch of married women, to be honest, whose
That who has time
husbands
for
gonna
that.
say hell yeah. Whose husband was like, yeah,
Because
let's go
there's
ahead and
always
roll
at
out
least
for a week and
two
shit.
married, and then two single. There's one single, one in a relationship.
Yeah, it's different, and them they have their moral and ethical compass might be different from yours because you're now grounded in marriage. They single, they can say, "Well, girl, you don't know what that's peer pressure."
so let me ask you something, because it almost sounds like I don't trust you.
No.
I don't.
It's
I no,
called it's
so
called
I'm
it's
gonna
called
say
No.
not putting
for
yourself in
me,
a position.
I
It's
don't.
called not
I
putting
don't
yourself in
trust
that
your
position.
single friend's dumb decision making.
Yes.
But
Exactly.
I
Your
trust
single
you.
your single friend could be the reason why a single guy and his single friend are in that room. Now, if you guys all got your own rooms and you're whoop whoop whoop, but normally on these trips they share rooms. So it's your single friend's dumb decisions that can affect the safety of the rest of the group.
It's I'm listening to y'all, but it sounds like I trust you to make the right decision. I trust you not to, desecrate our relationship.
Carl, you wouldn't know though.
Why wouldn't I know?
Because again, it's again you got to realize is there's a girl code and a bro code. How about we jump into that? If we all go on a trip, King Talk is poly, you're married, I'm single, and Just D is single. Who's most likely to get peer pressure and to cheat, do some dumb shit?
I know this much. Y'all motherfuckers can't make me do nothing I don't want to do. So all of y'all motherfuckers drink. I don't. So guess who's gonna be the sober motherfucker?
Yeah,
Nigga, I went
but
through my whole life not being a follower. So even if I went on a trip and it's a bunch of brothers, I still can't say, oh yeah, I'm gonna follow the leader. I wasn't following the leader before I met y'all. What I'm gonna do now?
And I agree with
so
you. But
so
now let's hold on. Let's throw that to your wife. Let's throw that to your girlfriend or your wife now. Because remember, I just described four different personalities of men, and you got to
Right.
remember, King Talk is poly, so
But
he
one of
definitely
you,
got the
but I'm,
females.
I'm
Hold on, hold
sorry.
on, hold
One
on,
of you
hold on.
niggas gonna snitch on me. So
Oh no,
I'm
no, no, no. Let
definitely
me
not
finish.
gonna
See,
taking no
hey,
you
call,
chances.
see
call,
how you think.
call.
You see,
I'm just
I'm gonna
see?
just
saying.
tell you,
Listen, out of
in
four
that
of us,
situation,
one of you motherfuckers gonna have your cell phone on, recording shit, and
First of
somehow
all,
it's gonna
first
be
of
on
all,
Facebook or Instagram, and I'm gonna
first
get
of all,
convicted. No.
let me hold up.
first of all,
For the record, let me just say, in this situation, I'm Papi. Papi no sin nothing.
I
exactly.
don't know.
I live on the second
But
floor.
hold
I live
on.
on the
But yeah,
fifth floor.
so hey fellas,
Exactly.
I was about to throw that caveat. Look at this caveat, Carl. We have that mindset. Now tell your girlfriend that you're going on a boys trip with us three. Remember now, I'm single, Just D single, he's poly, you're the married one. Tell your wife now that you're going what you think she's gonna
Listen,
say to you.
Carl ain't
I'm
going.
You calling you
listen,
ain't going, Carl? You not
listen.
going, brother.
It'll be
I'm going.
sitting there.
If I want to go, I'm going. But
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
y'all
all right.
go.
You got a whole hold
I
up. If you
understand.
got a
Listen,
whole wife at home and you talking,
y'all.
I'm going when I'm going. Nah, bro.
Mm-mm.
I
Listen,
would tell you,
y'all talk.
don't do it. Don't do
No, just D. Y'all giving me this hilarious flashback of a black version of Hangover. Nigga,
I'm just being honest,
Okay,
bro.
let's go with
It was
the
some. It was
hangover
some. Hey,
scenario.
look, it was
Let's
some
go with the
good.
hangover scenario.
In that movie, it was some good. It was telling the
y'all
truth.
niggas
Somewhat telling the
always got
truth.
some shit.
Hold
Listen,
up.
listen.
Let's run with this real quick. Out of the four guys on the panel, hangover scenario. Who is it who's winding up with a wife they didn't have?
Oh shit.
It ain't me. Cause
I'm with
Yeah,
you,
bro. You on your
remember,
own with that one.
remember, remember now, out of the four of us, I don't drink or do drugs. I don't even smoke weed. So good luck with that.
but hold up. But either which way, at the end
I'm
of the
just
night,
saying.
we're gonna have a digital camera.
Listen,
Everybody, right? You may not be a drinker, but it doesn't mean that you couldn't have gotten roofied, right? You may not
Mm.
listen,
be a drug
Rufy,
user.
what? I'm
Hold
Jewish,
up,
nigga.
hold
They
up.
can
And
root me in
also, I
cranberry
know,
juice, Nick.
but there's hold up. So, Carl, in this
Yo, I'm
scenario,
cracking up over
you
here.
hanging out with me. I forgot to tell you that particular piece of food is infused with marijuana. You done
Mm.
fuck them cookies up. Oh, now all of a sudden you laughing at shit that ain't even funny.
You got a drink in your hand. You laugh that shit ain't funny. Next thing
I'm
you
gonna
know, we
tell
done
you
lost
again.
your ass.
I am Jewish. If I'm that type of
Them wasn't
motherfucker that
regular gummy bears.
listen, if that tuna fish wasn't open in front of me, I'm not eating it. I'm dead
Hey,
serious.
Oh, all right. So I got a question for y'all, and before we get too carried away, somebody asked me something about a couple weeks ago, and it came back. I wanted to ask it last week, but it came back. She said, "Why don't men celebrate each other like women do?"
We do. We just have our own
We
way of doing
do.
it.
Here we go.
Yeah.
We ain't
Like
got
the
to go
women
all
do.
out and get fancy and go
What the fuck?
have a whole restaurant full of. Nah, you go to the
Nigga,
barber shop. Oh, you
listen,
got that new car?
you
What's going on, bro?
you
Go looking.
wait. Okay, you got a promotion on the job, Lee. I'm coming over with some Coronas, cheers. That's it, bro.
Yeah,
The fuck?
Yeah.
But that's
Mhm.
now, I'm not saying we don't celebrate. I said why don't we do it like the women do?
because we
Because
ain't
we're
built
not
like that.
women.
We not built like that.
What
Yeah,
the
I'm gonna
fuck?
go with that answer.
The, the reason
It's
why I asked
basically
that question is
it's
it's a
more
loaded
rational
question.
for us. Like if one of our boys get a promotion, I come to the house, I'm cooking barbecuing real quick. That's it.
Yes.
So it's a loaded question. The bottom part of that question is and she came back. She said, "Is that because we're not emotionally available?"
No, it has nothing to do with that. It's a
No, it's not. It
different
has nothing to do with that.
language.
All men are
It's
emotional available. It's just the person that is
Whoa,
susceptible
whoa!
to the
You believe
woman.
that?
Mm,
okay. Now I'm
Nah,
getting
I don't
triggered.
know.
Now
Just
look,
like
hold up.
women.
mm.
I'm getting triggered now. I'm getting triggered.
Mm.
So
Be honest about it.
like,
Like
we're
you
in the
are emotionally
club.
available. It's just you chose it how you want to handle it.
We're in the club. I am not spanking no man's ass because he's dancing.
You
Do you
dapping him up
understand what I'm
though.
saying?
You dapping him up though.
Listen, as I tell my god kids, I'm a fist pump your ass. If I give you a dap, that means we cool buddies. But if
Mhm.
I
Okay.
fist pump you, I just associate with you.
Exactly.
Nigga, that's as far as it goes. It's a different language. Females, on the other hand, we've seen them, they don't even know each other and they smack each other on the ass every time one of them twerk.
Yeah.
Different language.
Fair analogy.
It has nothing to do with emotional anything. It's about, yeah, good. Yo, good job, bro. We don't have to get into the.
And
I'm gonna take you out to
we can
dinner and
take
all
that
this
and be
shit.
happy with it the whole time.
Yeah, it's a unverbalized language that we use with our acknowledgement. We
I,
acknowledge each other
I'll
without
say
even
just like
talking.
this. Just like this. Lee, if I see you walking across the street and I'm across the street, I look over, I see you, you see me, and I do just like this.
That's it.
Give me a head
Keep
nod.
moving.
That's it.
What's up?
You're
Keep
safe.
moving. That's it.
Because if you was the op nigga, you wouldn't get a head nod.
I just give me a look at you like this. I know this
Shit.
motherfucker.
I would have ran up on your ass. You would have saw me coming.
That's when
Exactly.
you get the points. That's that nigga right
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. That's it. But no, this has nothing to do with emotional intelligence or how men are different from women for a reason. You understand? We're not. You see men hug each other. You see men kiss each other on the cheek. That doesn't make them gay. And just showing love because, like I said, you do it with your son.
Okay.
So it's up to the person to be um, intelligent enough to know, hey, this is true love. Two men, I've seen two twin brothers that haven't seen each other in years hug each other.
Well. Hold on. But since you want, all right. Since you want to say that, and when was the last time you told any man that you loved them?
My dad, when he died,
My cousin the other day.
Yeah. Well,
hmm,
my children, but I don't have a lot of guys I'm
yeah,
speaking
well,
to often in a non-business setting.
and
So
my
So
godson when he graduated the other week. Yeah, I forgot
okay.
about that.
Okay, so what? So how does that differ from when you hug the females in your family and tell them that you love them? How's that different?
Oh, because my pelvis is not rubbing up against him.
decent analogy. That
Yeah,
that that,
Carl.
that sums it up.
You asked the question. I mean, her titties ain't touching my chest. I mean, come
Yeah,
on, dog.
Carl.
Come on. You
So,
know
so
all about the side hug. You know how you turn sideways and give each other a hug? Come on, man. I did that for shock value, trust me. No, but seriously, females is different than guys when it comes down to how you show that affection. Because even my goddaughter, I still give her a kiss on a hug and a kiss on the cheek and a hug, the same way I do her brother, you know. And I love it because, that's me, you know.
so you
But
so
I
hold on.
wouldn't do that with Just though. Just would just get a fucking pound. Yeah,
Pretty
back the
fucking
fuck up,
much.
nigga.
How you do, motherfucker?
Shit. Ain't hugging nobody, nigga. Fuck out of here.
I'll say
Yeah.
Samuel Jackson.
Yeah,
So
I'll give
What how you doing?
I'll give him a pound and give King a fist bump, and that's it. We ain't hugging shit, nigga. It's gonna be a problem if we start that hugging shit. Unless unless
I'm
you took
old
a
school.
bullet
If
for
I
me or
fuck
some
with you, I
shit.
might do that one arm joint where you know what I'm
Oh
saying?
no, that's no. Too close.
all
I
right, hold on.
understand. I'm just saying with the dudes, with the fellas I'm cool with, we'll do that thing where it's
Yeah, yeah.
good.
So,
It's good. You know what I'm
sometimes
saying?
just put the hand here and just salute or some shit.
I even do
I
you
do
one better.
salutes with strangers.
Wakanda
Salute,
forever.
dap,
We ain't gotta
dap
touch
up
this.
like this.
How
Yeah,
you
but
doing, bro? How you doing?
if I got
So
some,
See,
yeah.
it's the
hey
DNA
fellas.
that I'm worried about. It's the DNA. I don't know where that shit been. I'm like,
So
it's like the female say, I don't know where your hands been, nigga.
we up here. We got a lot of bravado up here when we talk. I know we men. So how do you feel about you being in a relationship and your woman corrects you?
It's how you
Uh,
do it. It's how you do it.
it's how you do it.
Can
Yeah.
you change the word?
No, sir. Because if we do it to them, it's correction too, right?
No, it's
Mm.
not the same. It's not the
Talk.
same.
It's the correction is
Suggestive.
Mm.
You can't,
Let me
you
clear it
like,
up. Suggestive input is not the same as structure and leadership position. It's not the same.
It's
correction is
correction though, Carl.
correction.
Correction is correction, Carl.
Correction is
Doesn't
No.
matter
correction.
who it's coming
Mm.
from. You're trying correction is correction. If you're wrong and she's correcting you, it's just
You're
like if she's wrong and you're correcting her, what's the difference?
correcting
We
me or no. Suggestive input. I don't care. Suggestive input. You ain't correcting me, motherfucker. How's that?
if you dead ass wrong, she's supposed to
no,
shut
you
her
dead ass wrong. You never been in a situation where you dead ass wrong and she had to check you real quick, like, yo, you're bugging the hell out.
mouth.
I've been in a situation where I was wrong about something and she tapped me and she made her suggestion and her input, but not correct me.
Okay, so you took it as a suggestion and input.
No, that made him
Yes.
Right,
feel
that
better.
yeah,
That made him
good
feel better about
translation.
it.
Good translation.
Yeah, that made him
Don't
feel better about it. That made him
because
feel better about
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I'm
you
talking
know
about
why?
That's all that was.
Let me
when you
let me
in the
say
dead
why.
wrong, when you in the dead wrong, and she say, "Yo,
That's
she
all
yank
that
you by
was.
your neck," like, "Yo, you fucking up."
You know why? Because I have to maintain no equality.
Oh,
That's where I'm drawing that line. There's no equality.
So you
what do
got
you
to, so
mean?
basically, you got to control the situation in a certain way.
No,
Yeah,
So
think
so
about it,
Carl
brother.
was a translator. Is funny.
Controlling the situation in a certain way.
the vice president is correcting the president. Nigga, you're fired.
that's what he's there to do though,
But
or
that's
she's
what
there
he's
to
there
do.
to do.
Giving it a fancy name doesn't change what it
It
is.
doesn't change the posture, Carl.
Yeah.
I'm
It doesn't
using words
change it.
carefully. Suggestive input.
If
So
you tell somebody that we got to make a left on Albert Street to get to the Capitol, and it's actually a right, it's a correction, bro. It's not a suggestion.
Then,
It's a
baby,
correction.
baby, you're going down the wrong street. I think you should go this way.
Oh, you want her to put it up to pretty
Oh,
it
you
up for
want her to
you.
put it
Got it.
nicely to you.
Got you. Understood.
That's a whole lot better than nigga. You're going the fucking wrong way.
No, it
Turn and
Depends.
ain't.
get
If
around.
you
No,
got
it
Oh,
ain't.
three
wait, wait, wait.
seconds to make it,
Sometimes it be
if you
like
got
that.
3 seconds to make that turn, I don't need her making that shit flowery. Motherfucker, right, right,
Yeah,
right.
My aunt does that shit, and that's why I be stopping the car. Be like, you want to walk?
but Carl. I'm gonna say something to you, and I want you to take in what I'm saying before you respond. Do you know that in love, men and women are equals?
They are.
The
We're
only thing
equal in
that
love. We might not be in roles, but in
It's
a
not
dynamic of
expressed the same, but it's equal.
it's equal. In love, we're equal. So when
So
she's correcting you out of love,
yeah, in a healthy relationship, We are equals.
Mm-hmm. We're equals.
Our strengths are different strengths, but together, it's the yin and the
Di-
yang.
Yeah.
Where I'm
distinction
I,
roles.
strongest, where
you know
I'm
what?
strongest, she might be weakest. Where she's strongest, she might be better at nourishment and compassion. I might be better at structure and leadership. But
That's the roles.
they are both equally necessary. So we're
Yep.
Yeah.
equal in our strengths.
Well, the key word that you mentioned that got my attention was you said healthy. And yes, when you mix healthy and interdependency, yes, I can see that equal because y'all both putting in from different directions towards a relationship, prospering and lasting.
But
So,
Right.
that's
yeah,
the only thing we
okay,
should be
I
talking
see it.
about, Carl. Is
All
healthy.
right,
That's the only thing we should be talking about. Is
okay,
healthy relationships.
Yep.
okay.
So now the next,
So,
oh, we got a question in the chat, y'all. It said, "What do you guys talk about in the barbershop?"
we gonna leave it right there. We're not telling you.
What
If
you
you don't
hear
tell us,
right now?
yeah.
Everything.
If you don't tell us what you talk
I'm gonna
about in the
tell
hair
it. I'm gonna
salon,
tell it. I'm gonna tell it.
If you if
I ain't
you've
gonna
been
tell what we
following the
talk about, but
show,
we talk about everything.
if you've been following the show, everything is covered in the barbershop. Not just relationship. It's everything from politics to men, women, individually,
Sports.
how we think, how we talk, how we relate. That's what it's about here.
okay.
Oh, and I
With
did
that,
want to say something. I had read a comment earlier. Pink, sometimes when ladies go on group trips out of the country, them sharing a room is not based on their finances. It's based on the security of a company,
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You're not in a room by yourself where if someone broke
yes.
into your room, nobody would know. You're sharing a room, so it's safety in numbers. Yes, there
Now,
are the
now
broke homegirls that share rooms, but a lot of times it's the people who just want safety in numbers. They're in Punta
the
Cana,
sneaky
they're in
ones want
Mexico.
their own room. Don't get bad. The sneaky motherfuckers want their own room because they know damn well what they're about to do. They don't
I can
want you
agree
in the
with that.
room watching them
I,
fucking.
yeah, and which is one of the
Hmm.
reasons why. So I believe it's not that it's not a control situation. It's where I don't want you to put me in a position where I have to question anything, or I put you in a position. That's part of being equally yoked, where we don't put each other in those positions. That's how
Hmm.
proactiveness versus that. So, fellas, let's dig a little deeper. Let's go a
Ego
little
is an
deeper.
ugly thing. Where the fuck is an ego come from? Go ahead, bro.
Let's do it a little deeper. Who taught you how to be a man, right? And what they taught you, is there anything you need to unlearn?
Oh
I can
shit.
answer that.
I can
I can
answer
Damn,
answer
you
that
it.
had to.
question.
Yeah, that's. Go ahead, King.
Um, I learned from my dad what not to do, and that was the greatest education I got. My dad was an asshole without alcohol.
Hmm.
He was
God
naturally a
damn.
jerk. He didn't
Damn.
need alcohol. He didn't need drugs. The things that he needed to heal with, he tried to take. He didn't heal properly, so he didn't husband properly. He didn't father properly. He showed me what it he showed me what it was like to be a dictator, right? Because it was
Oh
his house. He had to do
damn.
things his way, his rules, right? And he led everybody that way. There wasn't a separation between the way he led his children and the way he led his wife. And I know the way that the way that that affected my mother. So it
So
made me compat.
is that like fake it till you make it because nobody taught me and I never learned?
I think it could be, but I think in his own ways, he had his own unhealed traumas, and
Right.
so that he dealt with everything in an unhealed fashion.
Okay.
I think he didn't know what it was like to be led with love, to lead with love, because he didn't experience it, so he didn't
Hmm.
lead with it. My grandfather's chief of police. He was very, very. He ain't sparing the rod for nothing. You understand what I'm saying?
He brought the job home.
Discipline was discipline meant more than love. Fear meant
Yeah.
more than respect. You understand what I'm saying? So I got
Okay.
the second generation version of that, right?
Mm.
So what that could have made me a person that was similar to that. But what it made me was a person that led with compassion. I didn't want to
Okay.
have distrust, so I wasn't a person who was unworthy of trust. because I found most people that were sneaking around inevitably believed that everybody else could be sneaking, like they were projecting, right? So I
Mm,
saw the bad
mm.
habits and made sure that I didn't do Ish that way, right? I know that he was the type of person that would go to the billiards hall, come home smelling like cheap perfume and cigarettes, whether he actually
Mm.
stopped off at Shorty's crib or not, right?
Okay.
And I knew what it
So,
was like to see my mother washing the clothes, put a little Clorox on the neck and scrub it, and I can only assume later there might have been something on the collar. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm watching the effects of leading without compassion, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't do that to somebody.
okay. Just who taught you how to be who taught you how to be a man?
I learned from my dad and my grandfathers and my uncles.
Okay, combination.
I had a genuine whole village, so it was just like you see certain things. You used to watch my uncle or my aunt want to start arguing. He'd just sit there and be quiet and listen to her and let her just go off, and then repeat everything she had said to him in a
Mm,
like you said in a suggestive way,
right.
and it stopped the whole argument.
Mm,
And I was
okay.
like, and he was like, that's how you argue. He's like, you just shut up and let them go until
Mm-hmm.
finish and get out their system. Then you go ahead and repeat. Make sure you listen. You repeat everything to them, exactly what they said verbatim, and it stops the
Mm,
whole argument. Because then they got to hear what they said to you right back to them.
right.
I watched my dad treat my mother like she was a queen. They had their ups and downs, and but either which way, he made sure even when they separated for years, and he was right there to make sure that I was all right, he was all right. I mean, she was all right, and it was just crazy. And it was back and forth. They were best friends at the end of the day.
So he was teaching you how to be a man, but how to health in a healthy way deal with conflict
No,
when
well,
it
that was
comes
my
to women.
grandfather and my uncles, yeah, but with my dad and my mom, it was like oil and water sometimes. So
Okay.
I just watch how my dad handled it. And he would do the same thing. He sit there and let her talk, then repeat everything back to her. And like
Mm,
you remember, you
you're
just said
smooth
this
with it.
right here, and then
So what do you have to unlearn? What do you think you have to unlearn from that?
what I had to unlearn
Yeah.
on my own was my temper
Mm,
because I wasn't as calm as I was back in, like a couple years ago. About 20 years ago, nah, it was set off quick.
mm,
So now,
yeah.
like over the years, I just got to the point where I'm like, all right, whatever. You gonna do what you're gonna do. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. But then, like, I also learned from my grandfather that my grandmother wasn't always sugar and spice. She was straight a firecracker. And I watched
Oh,
this man.
she kept them on his toes.
Yeah, so I was
Mm,
like, I used to just watch him sit there and she'll just curse him out, this, that, and the other. He'll sit there and drink his coffee, smoke his cigarette, and just look at her while she's talking. And then be like, all
mm,
right, so you done? We got out your system. You want to go eat? And walk off.
mm,
And she still loved him for it. She's like, because it's his way of saying, all right, well, you said what you had to say. We're gonna resolve this later. Let's get something to eat so we can come back and talk about
Okay. Healthy
it.
solutions.
Yeah,
I
so yeah,
like that.
I did see a lot of healthy solutions. I saw some bad solutions too, but I did see a lot of healthy solutions. So like basically from my grandfathers and my dad, that's what I learned. So
I
now it's
definitely
like,
shut up when my wife is talking and let her get it all out. I should I did.
yo, I'm
I
telling you, it worked. It works.
stop
It
playing, boy.
works.
Gosh.
Then you can see what type of female you're dealing with. And you can deal with a
Mm,
female that can take you either, all right, you know what? You said what you had to say. Let me process it, come back. Later on, we'll just dead it out and then we'll go about our business. Or you want to keep going. So but if you be quiet, don't say nothing, man. You know how many times I don't want an argument and I'll be sitting there just like this and just
mm.
letting it go off. All right. So this is what's the problem. This is how we're gonna fix it.
Hmm.
I like this. Mhm.
Go
So
ahead,
I'm gonna keep
Carl.
I'm gonna keep it short and simple. My dad, He taught me how to be a man. All the men in the family taught me how to be a man. And just like King was saying, from observation and learning, I also learned what not to do. Okay, so yeah, he could teach me about tools, how to fix things in the house, how to be consistent, how to have a job for 20 years, take care of family and all of that. But he also taught me what not to do, not drinking, you know, all the things that he done was positive, but there was a couple of negative things that I just couldn't do. You know what I'm saying? So it was a dual thing. The things that I wanted to unlearn, I could only say cigarettes because I got that from him. That's the only thing I can say as far as unlearning. But there's nothing else I can say is unlearned because a lot of this stuff I developed over time for myself. You know, and two, what Just said too, it took me almost 30 years to get that whole temper thing under control. And the reason being is because it just wears you out after a while.
Mm-hmm.
You can't
True.
just pop off every time somebody does something or say something you don't like. You had to stop it. But my father told me, he said, sooner or later you're gonna meet your match. So, you know, and so I
So
like
I do
that.
want to say this because anytime I speak on negatively on my father, I do want to mention things that I did learn. I learned how
Mhm.
to lay down sheetrock, learn how to put down tiles, learn how to run
Yeah.
studs, put up framework. I learned how to do electrical wiring. There are things that I learned from him that were practical things, that were good things. I'm just being factual when I say I learned more from the bad examples that he
Mhm.
gave.
And
Yeah.
which segued into what I was going to answer the question with. I think that's what I learned the most from my family as far as the men, because my mom and my dad divorced when I was 3. Yeah, and I rolled from house to house, so I saw a lot of different versions of men. Um, the streets, uncles when I saw them, things like that. When I did see my dad, he's a cop back home in the islands. You know how that goes. So I
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
that the discipline portion is the only thing I can say that I took away from that. Um, I think I had to unlearn a lot more than what I learned. I
Mhm.
think I'm going to be honest with that because I didn't see any as a 3-year-old. What is it that I could have seen that could have taught me anything from a
Exactly.
realistic perspective?
Exactly.
So that's why I think growing up and the older I got till I migrated to the states, and then I saw a different version of males because we know men in the island are different from men here, vice versa, all over the world. So
Mm-hmm.
putting those things together, one of the biggest things that I have to unlearn is that you can be your own man. You got your
Oh,
own
okay.
identity. You don't have to, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to realize that a lot of black men want to be like their fathers or wish they were like their fathers in the beginning. We think about that from the get go because think about everything that you just said. How he loved your mother, how they showed love. You
Yeah.
wanted to be in that same aspect. But yeah, I think from that perspective, and the reason why I asked that question is because a lot of people don't realize that it goes back what we talked about the father ones, the mother ones, and all that. But it goes to my next question, fellas, because when did you realize that strength, the bravado that we have, is not always physical?
I'm gonna tell you the one thing that stuck to me growing up, and I'm sure your brothers may or may not be able. I'm sure King can relate. Um, when the notion in your mind, I think it's a rites of passage. The notion starts developing in your mind. I can't wait till I can kick his ass,
Hell
and
no.
that day never came.
Nope. I could never do that.
Like
I
you know,
my
you always, in other words, you kind of size yourself up to him. You know, he
nah,
got big and strong, and you're like, yeah, I want to get big and strong like my dad. And then
no.
when you start realizing, I don't know about y'all brothers, but when you get to a point where you're taller than him or more viral and now you really get confident, and you're like, nah, that's elder abuse. I can't
Nah, I
do
couldn't
that.
do that.
But see, hold on. That segues into a perfect question for the rest of y'all to answer because
Yeah.
Carl, you painted the perfect picture. What we're not realizing is men, and I think a lot of women want us to realize is that a lot of our strength comes from our emotional capabilities.
Hmm.
But
Because
your
when you
emotional
get
cap-
emotional, we get this strength that comes out of
but do you
nowhere.
also but do you also realize your emotional capability doesn't come from your dad, it comes from your mother.
For the most part, yes,
So
yes. Because
let's let's tie it back in.
you see more anger coming out of her physically,
Hmm.
visually, than you would do the father.
Exactly.
So
But see, the
remember,
whole
we
thing
shut
is
down.
like you said, once you get bigger, like my pops was I was blessed. I had a stepdad and my father. My father's six
Mm,
eight.
mm,
I'm only 6'4", but I was taller than my stepdad. My stepdad had been with me since I was 2 months old. So it was like my whole thing with him. The only thing is I couldn't do that because at first he was a great freaking dude.
mm.
Then second of all, he's a Georgia man.
Oh,
Mm.
So he used to tell me the
welcome to the
stories of
big
him.
hand, people.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, yo, and his hands was huge. His hands was huge, but I never knew why until he told me the story how he used to pick cotton and tobacco
Yeah.
like in the day and get the cuts and the calluses. And it's like when him taking his like he used to take he had diabetes, he had to take his
The
blood, he
salt,
had to take
yeah.
his finger like 6 times just to get blood. That's how thick the skin was on his hands. So
I wanted to even include that because Pinky said about the grandmothers, right?
yeah,
Depending on what era you come from, but most eras prior to the 2000s, grandma ran everybody's household.
exactly.
So it doesn't matter. Grandmothers were like the permission slips to get around parents when it came down to if you're on punishment for not doing something in school, grandma took you off punishment for that weekend.
Yep. Yep.
So I used to love grandma. You can't talk about grandpa because grandpa was always the solid minority. You know, hey, what's up? Yeah, everything's cool. You know, but grandma ran the shit.
Until you got left with him by yourself and crossed him. Hey,
Oh man,
I will
yeah,
kick
So,
your ass.
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
but hold on. Let's drop back. I got a question about the father situation, fellas. It says, do you
Mm.
guys still see your fathers in person, in the person you are today? Do you see your father in the person
Oh
that you are
hell
today?
yeah, hell yeah. I see myself repeating shit that my mother and father tell me.
Yeah,
I really do. I catch myself all the time,
I'm
man.
more. I'm like my dad because my dad always gave you 3 chances. He'll talk to you
Oh
the first time. He'll talk to you the second time. Then third time,
man,
I'm beating your ass.
oh you're lucky.
Mm.
So I got lucky. But it's like
Yeah.
if it came down to certain things, it was like, all right, look, I done talked to you one time. If I got to talk to you again, I'm putting my hands on you.
Yeah, for me, I think again it goes back to, yeah, in my earlier in my failed marriages, yes, I saw my father because
Hold up, how many
that
times you been
perspective
married, bro?
twice, twice. Early
He said
military.
fair
Failed marriages.
marriages. He didn't
Yeah,
say
Marriages.
yeah. No, I
failed
ain't gonna hold you.
marriage. He said
Listen.
marriages.
Like you had like
Listen, being
six
in
of them.
the
Like, nah, this one didn't work either.
no, no,
Nah.
no, no. That's two. That's two. Being in the military, man. You know how that
Yeah, I
goes.
know. I know.
Oh
So,
yeah.
I understand.
but when I say I see my father, it's because that portion of knowing how to love or court or
Mm.
treat a woman in that perspective was not taught. I saw many different aspects of it. So trying to bring all those in and put it to one that equated to that. So do I in today I see the discipline portion for what I'm trying to accomplish, staying steadfast and holding my head a goal
I
because
don't
I
even
want
like you right now. I'm getting ready to get triggered. Go ahead.
yeah from that perspective. So yeah, but King, do you see it?
Do I what?
Do you still see your father in in the person that you are today?
Um, yeah. No, I see my father in the person that I'll say it like this. I think that he's the person I make sure that I'm not. Uh,
Yeah, it's the opposite.
yeah, yeah. I swear, like okay, like I have a teenage child. He has
Mm.
moments where he's testing my authority, where all I can say to him is, "Please don't make me respond like my dad."
Wow. I'm begging you.
I'm
I'm
like that.
begging you.
Yes. Please. What you're doing right now, I only know one way to respond, and that's like my dad, and I don't want to do that. Like these are actual conversations we will have. So
Mm.
even once this topic even came up, I felt my heart rate speed up.
Yeah, like boy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I don't. Yeah, nobody wants that.
then
Nobody wants that.
that's
But
true,
Lee,
man. Yes,
Lee,
sir.
you triggered me very badly in a way because when you said what you said, you talked about unlearning, right?
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like about my dad that it took me a while to admit, I didn't like the simp part of him. Now I didn't have to unlearn it because I already knew I wasn't doing that shit. This is the type of dude that he'll take you to dinner. He'll take a cab because he never drove a car a day in his life. He'll take a cab, pick you up, go to the restaurant, eat, pay for everything, go back to the crib, y'all do your thing, and then he would put you in a cab and send you home. I'm not, no,
Mm.
no. I believe I'll drive you, but all that cab, he's the type of guy that would take you on trips with him. There's a lot of little, I would say, simpish type of behavior. I would never do that. He did.
So I'm gonna trigger you more because I see the gray hair, I see the do rag, and I'm gonna say, Carl, simping was not around back in the day. That was pure love. That's pure affection.
No, no,
And that's pure
no.
bullshit.
I'm gonna say no,
Yeah, exactly.
no,
That's
no.
pure bullshit.
He was more the guy. He was more the guy that loved to show you what he can do. I'm more reserved. Like, nah, man, you got to earn this shit. You don't treat. It's like I said before. You don't treat a chick like she's your wife at friend benefits or girlfriend benefits. There has to be.
That's
He
true.
didn't have that thing. He treated everybody like,
Everybody the same.
yeah, like they was his wife. Like, come on.
So all right. So let's test y'all manhood real quick.
Mhm.
Here we go.
Would growing up, everybody had a superhero. Everybody wanted to be somebody, right? You know how that
Yeah,
goes. Yeah. Everybody wanted to be somebody. You thought you wanted to do this, and when you grew up, you wanted to be this person, right? Now, would the man that you thought you would be happy of the man you have become today?
I had no idea what the fuck I was gonna be. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had no idea. If I had to go, if I had to rewind the tape from the age of 17, 18, I would never guess that my life went the way it did because everything was by fluke. Everything. Every section of my life was by you it just fell in it. I didn't plan on being in the department. I didn't plan a bodyguard. Nothing I planned. Everything just right place, right time, fell in it. So
I'll have to.
I wasn't that dude.
I would have to say that looking back on how I was 30 something years ago to how I am now, I didn't expect it.
Hmm.
I
No
expected
plan, no nothing.
no plan there. It was like because I went on the streets to just quitting cold turkey, and it was like, oh shit.
So this is what I
So,
do. Okay.
so this is what I gotta do. This that. But I was also a reason why I went to the streets was because I had a how can I put it, a situation that happened, and I had to go to the streets for a moment.
Over time, I gotta jump in with you too. You learn how to not just adapt, but you learn how to be prepared.
Yeah. Then I'll say it like this: the most dangerous thing is being street smart and book smart.
Okay. Yeah, that is
Okay.
dangerous.
So when I graduated from the streets in 2000s, I was like, all right, now I know what to do, how to finagle this, do that, do what I need to do,
Mhm.
make sure I can put food on the table for my daughter and this, that, and the other. And either which way, I was still in survival mode, not really having to be in survival
But that's a good year though, because if it was 1990, oops.
mode.
Yeah,
Or
generational
I
differences.
said this. I
2010.
said this from '96 on to 2000. I was I was total Nino
That's
Brown.
what that's why I said if it was a
Yeah.
different gap of a year, man.
So,
Even Lee, how you feel if you would have waited 5 more years before you got in the military, or if you would have went in the
oh,
military
I would have
five
been
years
dead. I'd have been
sooner?
dead. I'd have been dead.
You see my point? It's all about
Yes,
timing
yes,
too, guys.
Yeah, if I
yes.
waited 5 more years later, I'd have been dead.
Yeah, I did the
See,
I ain't no more.
military, everything after the streets, and I was like, I had to get my things together.
it's
So,
all about timing.
so King Talk,
Yes, sir.
the man you were then, or you thought you would be, is it the same thing now? Would that man respect this man now?
Yeah. I
I'm laughing my ass off on the inside because I'm like,
I,
King, did
I'm
you
doing
know
it for
you was
you,
gonna be
Carl.
Polly 20 years ago?
I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. King Talk, you know that was coming. You knew he was coming at you with that.
Go
I
ahead, Pimp.
I was poly in the '90s.
Oh,
All right. God damn it.
I was poly in the '90s. So, and I
Nigga said he graduated high school and got into poly. What the fuck, man?
yeah, because my first poly relationship was in my first months of college. It was two girls that were roommates living off campus. So I was the only freshman dude that actually wound up staying off campus. So it's just I've honestly been the same guy my entire life. Just a right here. Show y'all what I'm talking
Nigga,
about.
if you was poly that early, you better never say about when I lost my virginity. Fuck that.
I can't turn my
Because you was a Rolling Stone.
yeah, I can't turn my camera around. I thought I might be able to turn my camera on and show y'all my phone. Um, but this is the '90s, and um,
Lord have mercy.
that
You know you ain't supposed to show any pictures of yourself from back then because you know the way niggas dressed back then, that should be an embarrassment today. Even if you was on Soul Train, nigga, or Jerry Curls or anything when during the beeper season, throw them
Where-
pictures away.
where'd he
I'm
go? He dropped
serious.
off.
Yeah, I think
He had to
that
come
just
back.
can never come back.
But I'm telling you, man, any dudes running around with pictures from back then, get rid of them.
So,
Cause
hey, fellas, I think we had that about that time. But I got this one last question I want to ask him, man. Call
mm,
trigger alert. Evo, give me that trigger alert.
you
Say
know
trigger
what?
alert. I'm a trigger call right
You,
now.
you just had to do it. I was fine all show.
Nah,
Look at
I got
this.
a trigger.
I'm
Got
not
a
the
trigger.
most tech savvy. That is, but
Don't
no,
worry.
Oh damn!
no, but
Here we
I was
go.
just
Go ahead, Lee.
No,
Sorry,
I'm gonna
King.
let it,
listening
go ahead.
to,
Go ahead, King Talk. Finish
Go
up.
ahead,
Finish up.
King.
Damn, my trigger alert call.
but yeah, I was poly in the '90s. I stood up for women in the '90s. Um, the I had definitely been shot at for breaking up domestic violence twice. Um, no, I've just always been this person. I'm a lot more
Oh
demure now.
shit.
I'm more likely to honk the horn and be more passive in the way that I try to break up a TV situation. But back in the day, if I saw you putting hands on a woman, I was putting hands on you. I done had
Mm.
guns
Well,
plural pulled out on me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
well,
just the same dude that I always was.
to your credit, Polly was easier back then than it is today. So
Probably
Makes
was some of the
sense.
most beautiful women God ever
I'm just
created. Lord
saying,
Jesus.
Coochie getting back then was way more easier than today. I'm just saying.
Well, all right, Evo, give me that
Yes,
trigger alert
yes.
one
The
more time.
'90s were.
Let me piss off.
Yeah. You can meet a chick, she invites you over to the house, have dinner on the same day, get
So,
laid,
This is true.
Carl, trigger alert, Carl. I'm gonna start
Oh
with you,
fuck.
Carl. Question to you first to you, Carl.
All right, here we
What
go.
truth about yourself are you still afraid to confront?
I am not getting in no airplane until I'm married. I don't give a fuck what y'all say. I am not getting up in no airplane unless I'm married. That's the only thing.
Carl, you're saving the question. Go deeper, Carl. What truth about yourself are you still afraid to confront?
He's afraid of
The
flying.
truth
He's not going
about
to do it.
yourself,
He's
not a
He's
afraid
fear.
afraid
I'm
of
afraid of
flying.
heights. That's it, heights.
No. Carl, you getting
That's the
trying to
truth
escape the
about
What
question.
other
himself.
truth? What are you
That's
talking
the truth
about?
about himself. He's afraid of heights.
Just D, don't give no, don't give no. No, just D,
I'm
answer the
trying to
question. Just
understand.
D, since you want to give him the
King,
key,
am I
answer the question.
wrong?
What I'm saying, you said what truth about me that
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid to confront?
Yeah.
The only thing that I fear to confront is flying. I don't have no other fear. If I see a rat or a mouse, I'm shooting it. But I'm not picking that motherfucker up with my hand. So that's it. I mean, I really, you have to remember something. I kind of desensitized myself over the last 30 years of basically any fear that we can have. I don't fear wars. I don't fear guns. I don't fear knives. I don't fear man. I had to get over this shit because this is part of being a man in protection. You may be called upon doing something that the average dude might be scared to do.
So
That's why
so
I asked earlier in the thing about Judge. You're in the
That
middle of
part.
the ocean and
That
and
part.
your daughter just went over the rail in the middle of the ocean. Nigga, are you gonna freeze up and be scared or you gonna jump in and save her? You
so
never
hold
know.
hold on. All
I
right,
think where the
before they answer, do you fear love, Carl?
Huh?
Do you fear love?
Oh hell no. Interdependency all day. What the fuck?
That's
No.
not what I said.
I don't
He
no, I
said,
don't.
but Lee, he said, hell no, you don't feel
No,
love.
no, no. But
No.
I like how he uses that word.
I have to because I always equate the both together. I mean, it takes a
but truth
lot
or
for
not,
somebody. It takes a lot, Lee, for someone to prioritize you, invest in you, and hold you to such high regard, to trust you. So when you talk about love, all of that is together.
so there's a reason why I'm asking that because when I ask the question, what is the truth about you that you are scared to confront? And I'll answer the questions to give you guys an example.
Mhm.
Again, I'll use myself after those two failed marriages. I am the truth about myself is I'm scared to confront the fact that I might not know how to love.
Oh well, shit. We got a
That's
YouTube
that's the
channel.
truth. That's a truth because I've never been taught that. I've never seen that. I've never done that from a perspective where it's been reciprocated the right way. Because if it
Oh, I can
was,
send you links about how to do that.
and my
see
brother,
that's
you can
but
always
see that's
we can always have these conversations as men. On a
see that's
serious
different
note,
though. You
we
love
should have
differently.
those conversations as men.
Hmm. But
If
you
you have a fear, listen, if
but
you
we
have a
all love
fear,
differently. We
if
all
you
love
have a
Yeah,
differently.
we
fear
do, but
about
there
love,
are some things that are the foundational. The foundation is like a house. A house can have many different looks. Once the portion of the house that's above ground can have
mhm,
all types of different looks, but it must have
Mm-hmm.
wiring. It must have framework. The wood
it must
has to
have
be a certain amount of
foundation.
feet
You
apart
must have that
in order for the
foundation.
structure to in order for the structure to be firm. The wood has to be a certain length apart. Just certain codes that you have to go by in order to have to maintain structural integrity of your home. So no matter
So
what it
so
looks like, some of the
But
basic components are across the board the same.
no, we're not
but
talking about
see,
the basics. We're talking about after hurricanes have hit, things have been done. The structure is not as standard as what it was before. I get your baseline, but
Mm.
throughout hurricanes and tornadoes, things hit and the structure is now shaky. So that's the truth that I'm speaking about. After that, the
Well, let
baseline
me
is
ask.
always there.
Well, well
I say
let
like
me.
this. I say like this. Like you said, with the truth that you got to confront in yourself, just like you said, being on the foundation and everything. Like for myself, I know I still have a mean streak, so
Yeah, I have a petty streak.
I know that demon that I have can make or break me at any time.
Yeah.
So I know how to confront. I know how to deal with
That's
that
honest.
particular one by myself. So it's like if I get in an argument, yo, give me a minute, I'll come back to it.
That's
Let me
honest.
Can I?
let me walk off real quick, rethink everything, come back to it with a logical answer so I can make sure everything's straight. And I gotta deal with that mean streak. But if you popping off at me, I used to be like, you popping off at me, oh motherfucker. If I say motherfucker the first thing out my mouth, the rest
Mm.
is flowing like, yo, You can
Yeah.
kiss my ass. I don't care this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Either which way. I said what I said. I'm walk away with it.
I want to touch back to what Leah said, to Lee's question about your fear of love. If you have a fear of love, any man, you have a fear of loving yourself. I hate to sound poetic, but that's the bottom line. You have to love yourself before you can even think about loving somebody else. And I wasn't bullshit when I said there's there's a plethora of links, YouTube, there's so many places that you can learn how to love somebody. The same way there's plenty of places that you can learn how to love yourself. So it
I
starts with
understand
self.
that portion. I get that. And trust me, through therapy and a lot of things I mean
Hmm.
that's here. I get that, but I understand that. King Talk, you
Yes,
want to
sir.
answer the question?
Repeat the question so I make sure I answer.
Yeah, because Stephanie is going off on us in the comments.
Yeah,
Like we
pretty
didn't
much.
hear nothing.
What truth about yourself are you still afraid to confront?
Truth about myself. Mm, I don't know. I think I reached the low where I had to confront them all. Um, I know that. Yeah, I, I don't ever want to go back to the unhealed version of myself, but I don't know of anything that I haven't confronted because I did consistent therapy.
And I
Like I
got a
said,
fear
And that
that
does help. That does
I
help.
got I do have a fear that a lot of dudes have a fear of confronting, and that's why they're waiting too late to do it, and that's get their colon checked.
I can
You talking
honestly
about
say
See it?
health wise?
I've done the
Yeah,
colonoscopy, I've done the
Done
prostate
that.
yeah,
exams, all that good stuff.
Done that. Best sleep I ever had.
yeah. But
Yeah,
just for conversation purposes, you'd be surprised how many guys you got to push into that arena. They think all kinds of negativity, not realizing how much it could extend or save their life.
I feel
In all
obligated.
reality,
I got too
Well,
many people in my
well,
house to die on some crap.
yeah, I'm about to say that's something that's I think that's when you go to subjective or subjective, they look at those things differently based on how they were raised and the cultural aspect of that. The health. I'm talking about health wise
Yeah,
because a lot of people don't believe in doctors and they can deal with these things and stuff like that. But we know that that's what you need to do as being in our culture. Now, what? So
you
we
you
talk
you
about we talk about. Go ahead, Carl. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I hear what you're saying that there are people that don't believe in it, but it's funny that the moment something goes wrong, 911 is called and they are in
Mhm.
front of a doctor. So forget about what you feel and think. It's what's the outcome that matters. The outcome is you're in a hospital now, and these doctors are trying to save your life.
Yeah, that's the discipline that needs to be learned. That's some things that need to be unlearned
Come
also.
on.
So, all right, let's segue a little bit. Um, we talk about protection, leadership, provision, and things like that as black men, right? And we all could agree that with some type of protection comes a little bit of control, correct?
I don't think niggas know what protective
Oh,
is.
yeah. Well, hold on. Before we get there, do we agree that some type of protection comes with control? Some type of control. It might not be. Not. I'm not talking about to the point where you're controlling every move, but you have to have some type of control to protect something.
you have to
Not
be able to have
necessarily.
final say. Yes,
Yes. Okay. Now, when it comes to your woman, are you? Can you separate your desire to protect her from your need to control her?
yeah. I don't, okay,
One
so
got
for
nothing
me,
to do with the other.
I don't
You
feel
can
any
separate
need.
them though.
I don't feel any need to control my woman. I
Yeah.
really don't, because what I
Yeah.
was attracted to to who she was. It is so there
Yeah.
was never a need to control it. It was just, it's like watching. It's like if you're in the woods and you see an animal in their natural habitat. Like just watching a person doing what they do the way that they do it is what was the turn on. It was the oomph. So I ain't never needed to control her. Um, there are times when she'll do. If I think she's doing something that's going to jeopardize, the only time I lay down the it's my way or no way type vibes is if I think it's going to affect somebody's health. Outside of your health, your health, your immediate health and safety. I if I'm in alignment with what she does, she's in alignment with what I do. I don't go astray. Like I know I could do things that I don't bother doing because I don't like the way that would make her feel, and vice versa. She could go. I'm sure she could go and do blah 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 blah. But like, it's just not what a person's interested
I'm
in.
sorry. I'm almost on that line, but yes, it is my way or no way. And I'm gonna tell you why. I
Mm.
thought it all out. The plan, the timing, the what can go wrong, everything. So I need your peace and cooperation at this point.
Yeah, there are gonna be moments like that, but
Yeah.
overall, in your typical day to day, that person's just being themselves. Control is really for me only if we cannot afford the time it will take to delineate off the path.
But this,
Right.
but
There's
the
gonna be
reason why
times
I
when we
said
ain't got time
earlier,
for that.
the reason why I said they're separated is because, like I said earlier, um, protection. I don't think a lot of people know what it is. When you hear people, especially on social media, talking about provide and protect, they don't know the responsibility, the intricate parts of it. Being a protector also involves being proactive, how to
Mm-hmm.
avoid confrontation, how to avoid an accident or whatever. It's like, the light bill comes every month, but I got money on the side just in case we get another pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Proactive protection. So when you use the word control, it's not controlling if I said, baby, I know you got to be at work by 8 o'clock. Don't go out right now. Just wait till 9 o'clock. Go in late. I'm not trying to control you. Baby, don't go out tonight. That's not control. I know something or I feel something. Why? It's protecting you from harm. I don't want my phone to ring. I don't want to be
You don't want
identifying
that
you in the
call.
morgue.
Yeah, you don't want that call.
So it's about being proactive, just the same. It's not controlling. I think because people don't understand what protection is, they don't know that men is not trying to control them. They're trying to be proactive so shit don't happen.
So would you give that same just due to a woman who's trying to protect you?
Yes.
Hey man, why the
Uh,
fuck you always got to come with this
yeah.
equalizing
So now
shit?
I got the story.
What is wrong
Yeah,
with you?
because
Trigger
I'm gonna
alert.
say just like this. I'm gonna say just like this. I
Hey,
would,
bro.
I would, because sometimes I'm gonna say now. I'll say about 80% out of that 100%. They right.
Just your woman is not picking you up and carrying you out of a fire.
Shit.
See now, Carl. This is where you're being
Hey, right
hypocritical
there,
because
you wrong, bro.
just now, you went on the spectrum for protection to justify for the man, but now you're literally stating one fact for the woman
Bruh,
because the woman is a nurturer; she can protect you so
bruh.
many other different ways.
I
Let me
know
tell you
what a
something.
woman
Let me
is
tell you
capable of
something.
doing. I'm not being facetious. I'm not trying to contradict. All I'm saying is that I don't want to move the goalposts of purpose and design. Just because you can don't mean you should.
But my
Okay,
thing is like
I'll
this.
take that.
You saying that
That's
she
where I
don't
was
carry me
raised
out
on.
of the fire, but if you teach how the dead man live, you shouldn't get your ass out of the fire.
I'm just,
I'm
I
telling you.
said, just because she can don't mean she should. Because I am gonna look at you crazy if she's carrying your big ass out of the house during a fire.
Yo, if she carrying my big ass out of the fire, what you gonna say? Good fucking job. Thank you for saving my life.
No, I'm gonna sit there and say, "Oh shit, nigga, what kind of woman you got? This
Yo,
person
look,
300 pounds."
if you see, I'm telling you like this. Me and you are over 6 feet. If you teach the woman how to do a dead man, fireman lift,
Hey,
Mm.
ain't no way in hell she can't carry you
all
nowhere.
right. I'm gonna sit over here and drink my water. Shut the fuck up because that shit is
Cause
crazy.
yo, I was like, yo, I was a diabetic. So I was like, if I ever pass the hell out and you got to get me out, this is why you do it.
Okay, do you talking about preparing in case I'm
And yeah, in
incapacitated? I
case like,
got you.
look, I had to
I got you.
prepare mine. Like, yo, I can't say nothing about my son's mother. She's like 6'2", so she nice,
I'm
but
still. I'm still not going to get on you, Judge. We're going back to Lee. Why every time he opens his mouth, it's always on some equality shit.
Bro, we got it. You got it because we have to understand that we are also learning and teaching at the same time because we got to understand that. Because and this next
You
question gonna
sure
pull.
you're not an attorney or
No, this
advocate? Fuck.
this next question. Hold on. This I'm gonna show you how this it ties in. This next question is gonna go hit you so hard. It's like if with that the case, then what scares you the most, then, Carl? Because a lot of when we look at men, right?
Mm,
You got a lot of men that are you got single. You got a lot of men that are single. When we talk about dating and things like that, is it the
mm.
fact that you are scared to be alone, or you're scared of not being in control?
Whoa, you cannot control. You you can't control everything. That's where
But you
vulnerability
just said it's
comes
your way or the
in.
highway. That's what you just said in a relationship.
No,
That's what I'm saying.
because remember, you elected me to lead. So that
Okay.
means your suggestive input helps me do my job as well as your peace and cooperation. So that means I planned it, I made all the concessions for the just if or just in case or the contingencies. It's all laid out. So if you come in and keep changing. It's hard for me to plan if you keep putting in the monkey wrenches, changing the outcome.
Isn't that part of growth though in a relationship? It comes
Growth
with
my
changes and
ass,
growth.
nigga. Just let's get to the point. Remember, we talked about at the beginning of this show, keeping the stress level down. Solve the problem, don't let it return, and keep moving forward. Not revisiting the same thing over and over because you keep bringing up. It's like, didn't I tell you stop shopping so damn much? We can't pay off shit if you keep shopping. Come
Mm.
on. They got you. Listen, work with me. Let me get this done. Then we can start all over and you can continue shopping. But if I'm trying to plug the hole up and you keep making two, three more, nigga, you stressing me out. That ain't growth. That's high blood pressure.
Yeah, touche, touche. Fellas, y'all want to hit it? Y'all want to tackle that question?
What? So if you pass out on the floor and there's a fire, just wake him
You
up.
know.
He can handle it himself. Don't.
Now she coming at
That
Carl's
makes
neck.
him.
That's Carl. That's for
Listen,
Carl.
listen, ladies. I know the fight. Y'all want to be equal. I get it.
They're equal in
But
love,
this
Carl.
this is 2025. I see female Con Ed workers. I see females in Amazon. I see y'all, but I still take my car to the mechanic, and it's not a female fixing my car. It's not
So
a
you would.
female in the sewer, or there's still places that black women are not in. And like I said, I grew up under the doctrine: just because you can, don't mean you should. You don't have to prove nothing to me. This is not a competition. We're not sitting around having arm wrestling contests as men and women. You stick to your purpose and design. Let me stick to mine, and we'll be fine.
All right.
Come
So
on.
it's about that time for us. One more last question that we're gonna. You know what I mean, because I know we got fourth for tomorrow. I gotta get prepared. I got some shit to do. There's one question I wanted to pop out there, man. That I get asked a lot, and I really don't know the answer. So I will hope y'all help me with this. Um, if you had 5 minutes, right, to forgive yourself, what would you start with?
Holy shit. Where the fuck you be coming up with these questions, bro?
They're therapy questions that we do to spark conversation
I
with.
love them. Don't get me wrong. I love them, but I'm just saying, wow.
Yeah. If you had 5 minutes right now and to start, right, to forgive yourself, what would you start with?
I can answer that question. I'd forgive myself for having to put hands on my father.
Mm.
I I I'm 50 years old, and it's probably been less than 10 years that I've forgiven myself. And I
Oh.
had to do that as a child. And I was raised Catholic, raised in the Catholic Church. That's one of the worst things you could do as a human being. So it was a tremendous amount of my life that I carried that heavy burden.
Yeah, a
Mm.
lot of
After my
guilt.
dad's yeah, after my dad's passing, I one day I broke down talking to my uncle, talking to his brother, and I told him the circumstances, and I asked him what should I have done, and he was like, "You did the right thing," and like the way I exhaled, then I was damn near bawling like a child, man.
Yeah, because you
Because
got the
I've been,
validation from
yeah,
his brother.
yeah, because
That's all you wanted. You wanted for all the time of the guilt. It was really just you wanted the validation. Did you do the right thing?
yep,
So
even
that's
right
I
it.
now,
did. I kind of had the same situation as King. Not my dad, but my father. My grandmother had died, and my father was like, we were taking her out of the state without consulting my grandfather.
Oh shit.
And me and him got into it, and I just let loose.
Mm.
And I walked away. I walked away. I didn't care. I did it. And then, like, as soon as we was about to get into it, my grandfather walked outside and was like, "I dare you put your hands on me," to my father. So that just stopped that right there. But I did basically the same thing. I went and I talked to my brother and my sister, and my sister was like, "One of us was going to do it one day."
Makes sense.
So, and then my brother,
yeah, Dahlia.
what happened here?
Okay, so I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna walk away real quick.
Get a
No, but I'm
water,
saying
brother. Get a water. You
I
be all
understand.
right.
Like, I understand. Like, I understand where King coming from on that, and it's just like it's like that part of you that you got. It's not a valid. It's like a validation, but it's like you got to hear it from another person's point of view.
Yeah.
So
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm gonna need more than 5 minutes. I would need about 2.5 hours because um the back in January 19th, 2010, I was in Philadelphia and my cousin calls me and said your dad is gone. I for a while, a long while, was like, I should have stayed in New York because if I was closer, I could have got that nitroglycerin in his ass and he didn't have to die alone in that bedroom of a heart attack. It was sitting right there on the dresser, right there next to the cell phone. So my thing is, and it was 80% of charged. And his last moments, I still can replay. I know exactly what happened. Coming out the shower butt naked, clothes over there, and you start feeling pain. You reach for the house phone, and a sharp pain. You drop the damn phone, and it went underneath the bed, so you couldn't get to it. You walked around the bed. You passed your cell phone to nitroglycerin, run into the window to get air, but another strike. You hit your head on the dresser. Boom, that was it. So my thing is this: my father and I was like Sanford and Son. Yeah, I'm Big Dummy. But we like Sanford and Son. But in my mind, it was like during this time, I wanted to be out there, doing my thing. I'm still, contemplating starting a business, staying on the job, but I don't want to leave him behind. And that was the wake up call. But then I felt better after a while because I understood if it wasn't for him passing away, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. So there's how you say everything's happening for a reason. It's an exchange. You want life to be better. You want money. You want fame. You want this. You want that. Well, you got to give something up. So that's why I said if I had 2.5 hours, yeah, I would have drove up and saved his life. But since that wasn't in the car design, hey,
Makes
I
sense.
got it. Yeah.
Uh,
I wanted to
So,
finish. I
go ahead,
wanted
King.
about to say before I got a little choked up. Talia, you made a statement, and your statement was, you forgave yourself for everything you had to do to survive." That statement hit, and that was the sentence I was trying to say that I couldn't get out. I
Oh,
Because that meant a lot to me. Forgiving yourself
Right.
what you had to do to survive.
Yep.
That landed with me real deep. Like resonated with me
Hey,
real deep. So
I ain't
that
even gonna hold you. I'm a sugarcoat. I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon with that. Not only that, my 5 minutes would after doing that, I would have to forgive myself for holding myself accountable for what my parents couldn't do.
Mm.
Mm.
Blaming myself this
mm,
entire
mm,
time,
mm.
blaming. I have to realize some. I had to realize that.
Ooh.
So that both those go hand in hand because though that survival capability came out of those things. And after a while, you got to be able to forgive people and move on because if you don't, the mindset will be there. But fellas, man, it's been a nice night,
Salute.
man. Hey, ready for those final thoughts?
Of course.
What you
Of
got for us,
course.
Evo? Final
I'm a, I'm
thoughts.
I want to leave this one out so y'all can follow suit because it's something else I want to add to y'all.
Bet.
Um, Final thoughts is going to be this. This was a okay. Final thoughts. Um, I'm gonna say this. This was one of the best shows that we've done so far, and I'm very proud of it. Um, and since we're, dealing with the connection from our fathers and our past, what made us what we are today, what helped shape us, teach us what to do and what not to do. Um, the only regret that I have in my life was I wish I would have took the time out and played one game of pool with my dad. The thing about my dad was he was a pool shark. He was very good with cards and he was damn sure good with the pool table. And he used to beat people left and right for their rent money. All these years growing up, I never played my dad cards and pool. Not because he won't play unless there's money involved, but I wish that I could have at least had that opportunity. Just the same as you never had a chance to arm wrestle your dad. It makes a difference in saying that validation, that camaraderie. You can share a lot of moments with him, but when you challenge him and you win, that's a whole different validation. So that's one of the things that I wanted to close out with. And final thought that, it may be too late to have that type of closure, but I think that's the one thing I regret that I didn't get a chance to take advantage of. And, you know, like I said, everybody go out there and get life insurance. Please subscribe, join, stay with us because you might learn a lot of things. You may not agree, but you may learn a lot of things from different lenses and different backgrounds. So salute. Be safe out there.
Appreciate that, Carl. What we got next? Just D.
Uh, my final thoughts. It was a great show. Um, Shout out to y'all fellas, for coming through. Um, I would say after everything we talked about, just live your life. At the end of the day, make sure you're happy. Make sure you're making yourself happy before you got to do anything for anybody else. Make sure it's all right. It feels right in your spirit before you jump off and do everything for everybody else. The best thing I can say to do is just live life. That's all.
Salute, salute.
The little brother. Do we lose? Okay, King Talk. What you got,
Yeah,
brother?
King, your talk.
So I will say this: don't when you need help, get help. When you need advice, try to find a healed source. Don't go to an electrician for a plumbing problem. Go go to a person that represents where you want to be in life. And their path may not be the same, but some of the components of how to reach your destination may be pertinent. Heal yourself. Prepare yourself to sustain whatever you wish to obtain in life, because obtaining it is only a part of the job.
Salute, salute, salute.
Salute, salute, brother. And I love that, man. You know me, I like to write mine down, so reading it is what I do. But it's funny that King Talk came off the peace tip because a lot of men nowadays we preach this. We're looking for peace, the sustainment of peace, but that heal portion hit, and we got to remember that. Don't confuse numbness with peace. Peace is not the absence of feeling; it's the presence of clarity.
Mm.
Don't let the quiet fool you into thinking you're healed. Sometimes we silence ourselves just to avoid the truth we're not ready to name. But healing demands truth. So, fellas, you got to breathe, sit in your story, and when it hurts, that means you're alive. And that means there's still time to change it. With everything that's going on, fellas, we got to get back to where we're leading our community and do what we need to do. I love this, man. I love the fact that we kept it going past June. Evo, shout out to you. But on the other serious tip, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and do everything that Carl said, man, because we're here to, we might laugh and joke, but we're here to drop some gems that might sit with you, might not. But I think this show can be a black diamond. Evo, back to you. Fellas, y'all have a good
Mhm.
night, man. Take it easy.
Salute.
Happy
Yeah, have a
4th of
good night.
July, everybody.
Don't
Love,
forget,
respect.
subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Follow, follow.
Press those likes.